Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Shooting the Shelf here on the Just Shelve It channel. Got Captain Curtis over here with me. How are you doing tonight, Curtis?
Doing excellent now that you reminded me what time we're starting.
Yes. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Our new start time. So going forward, we will be starting at 8 p.m. Eastern for the show regularly. So yeah, thank you all for being here. Do you want to do a quick shout out real quick? I don't have a special slide or anything, but to our three super chat folks, well, four, including Curtis, Steve Obeg, Trevor 16 Shooter, and Eddie. Edgardo, Eddie, thank you all for contributing to our first ever super chat episode last week. It's exciting to have hit that level. I'm still trying to figure out how to make the images come up and all that stuff. But thank you for that. We do have the channel member stuff. If you go to the homepage for the channel, and there should be a join button with the different tiers and everything if you are interested in doing so.
And then your name can come up all green and pretty like Joe's. So.
Yeah. So it is Sunday night, October 22nd. We are getting ready for LegionsCon 23 coming up in just a couple of weeks. And with us, we have the second member. We had last year, we had Brad on, or Mike on. Goodness, my brain is scrambled tonight. Tonight, we have Brad, the one and only governor of California. So everybody give a warm digital round of applause to the Arnold Bradzenegger. Nope, that was almost bad.
It was excellent, Jesse.
What's going on, man?
What's going on, guys? How's it going?
Excellent.
Doing good.
That's a beautiful view behind the collection. We don't normally get to see that one.
It's actually the opposite side of the lair.
Oh, that's awesome.
So yeah, there's the flag.
Oh, that takes up some room.
And then there's all the cabinets there. It kind of keeps going until there.
Beautiful.
What's that shirt you're wearing there, Brad?
Yeah, I got my official Legions Lair shirt that we will be giving away at the LegionsCon this year. So
beautiful. Who designed that?
Cool.
I did a live on the Cabal, and some people have claimed some shirts, so I have their names written down. So those people just have to come up to the table. But anyone else looking to get a shirt, get them before they're gone.
Whose design is that on the shirt?
This is none other than Dave Orkin from Faceless Print.
Oh yeah,
he does a great job. It's not to say
I like the helmet.
A cheap shirt, but it's actually a great quality shirt. And the print on it's awesome. I've already washed it twice, and it's holding up great. So
beautiful,
very cool.
And Dave designed this, so he did a good job. I let him. I said, "Hey,
pretty sweet."
I said, "Do what you want to do," and he said, "This is what we're going with." And I said, "Cool, let's do it." Mike's like, "Hey, I don't care, you do it," and I was like, "Yes."
Well, quick shout out to everyone in the chat. We got Dave Orkin, Rocco the Great, Eddie is here, Joe Gonzalez, our first channel member, Jacob, figuratively speaking, Lauren's here, T Bellet, Jeremy, Steph is here, and I think that's everybody as of now. So hello everybody, thanks for joining us and catching the earlier time. Well, Curtis, I think it's that time of the show where we bring up the
shelf selections.
I
think it is that time. Okay, so this first one here, like we try to mix these up, and I try not to go to the same well too many times.
Sure.
But I hit this guy up last week, and then immediately after we put him on last week, he had an even better shot, I think, this week. So this is Amusing King, and this thing is just phenomenal. I am just absolutely amazed by this. Last week was the one that was just kind of Darth Maul by himself, and we were talking about how cool it looked. And then this one, you've got the whole swiping against Vader, and his helmet has got the sear marks on it and the sparks flying. And I was like, man, now I got to put you up there 2 weeks in a row. So
That's correct. I think I had seen this one shortly before we came on the show last week.
Yeah.
So when you did that Darth Maul one, I was like, I can't believe it didn't go for the Vader one. I'm actually happy to see this one.
Yeah, this is cool. So, like I said, try to mix it up and have some different folks on here, but I had to put them up here 2 weeks in a row because that's just badass.
I almost just drank my paint water.
That's how sweet it is.
Yeah. All right. Jesse, this one was your first one.
So from the one and only Kevin Boots, Kevin M Boots 77 on Instagram. If you're looking for him specifically, Kevin Boots, awesome photographer in the Cabal. This shot, I am a sucker for this back shot with like the silhouette with the lighting up in front of it. Like there's the shot in Saving Private Ryan when the mother gets the letters and it's like the dark interior of the house and you see her silhouetted in the door. There's a similar one in the Alamo movie that came out like, I don't know, whatever years ago with I'm drawing a blank on the people, but there's just where it's got oh man, I'm drawing a blank on his name. Billy Bob Thornton plays Davy Jones, and there's or not Davy Jones, Davy Crockett. And there's a shot of a guy on stage like doing a presentation of like his life that's a similar setup. So I love this setup and seeing it with Vitus, however you say it, or whoever that is. I think that's, or is that Romulus? I'm not sure. Anyway, it was really cool.
I think it's Vitus or Vegemitis or whatever his name is.
Vitavitus.
Gingivitis.
Yeah, gingivitis.
Yeah. This is really cool. I don't know if those pillars are something like if this is a spot that he found that had those pillars or if those are put in for this photography. But I like the scale on it. Like it feels not too small, but not too big. And then the just the scenery in the background is really cool. So I when you sent me these photos, I was like, ooh, this is really cool. Good job, Kevin Maboots.
Yeah, Kevin Maboots.
So, all right.
Excellent.
My next one. This is our good buddy Stephen Bashti paint up one of these new heads that Len has. I think this is part of his value series at Wolf King Custom. This new dwarf head, and I just got real like old school D&D type vibes from this. I thought that Steve did a really good job with this head, and I love that shield combo with it and the little like cloak, or it's not really a cloak, but it's, I don't know, it's almost like a poncho that he put over this thing.
It's a short cloak.
Yeah, it's I just think the whole overall look looks really cool.
It does.
Very cool. Yeah, I really like that head. That shield is really fun too. Yeah, it's a really cool look with the casual boot wear. I'm not sure what shin that is, but yeah, that's really cool. It's great job.
I'm not sure what shield that is. Is that that's not Wolf King, is it?
I'm not familiar with it.
Yeah, I don't recognize that shield. It's pretty cool. So I'll have to ask Steven where he got that. But yeah, good stuff. Next, Jesse.
All right, so this is Fredericks Figure, Fredericks with an X on Instagram. This is, of course, one of the what do they call them? The Night Troopers from Ahsoka. I'm assuming this is just a black series that he broke down, glued together, taped up. So yeah, I just thought that was really cool. I think that's a really cool look, and even though Hasbro can knock some of their Star Wars stuff out of the park, nothing's going to look as cool as this, at least in the Black Series line. So I just thought that was really cool.
Yeah, when I saw this one, I didn't know. I mean, I haven't dived in enough into Black Series to know if this was an actual figure that they produced or if this was a custom. But if you're saying that this is a custom, then he did a great job, because I think that like the amount of just kind of dirt and grime, as well as the red kind of tape stuff, looks really great. So if this is a custom, he did an amazing job.
Totally agree.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Beautimus. Here's my next one, and this is one that I just found this week. I was not following this gentleman, but I am now. This is Dan's Toy Art, and it's just kind of a cool little scene here where looks like somebody's been murdered. You got some crows there trying to pick at him, and you got some Jim Gordon, it looks like, and Batman trying to examine what's going on and figure out the
Jim
details.
Gordon.
Is it not? Is that Constantine?
That's Constantine.
See, I thought it was supposed to be a young Jim Gordon, but
I kind of thought it was too. But now that you say that, I'm like, oh yeah.
Yeah, I was like, it looks like Constantine, but I thought it was supposed to be because it's like the early costume Batman. So I thought it was like
it's the best,
like the younger.
Batman. Yeah.
Well, yeah, but I was thinking it was maybe like a younger Jim Gordon.
I mean, that works too.
For. Yeah.
But I mean, it's definitely a Constantine figure.
And I love that they've got the superpowers Batmobile in the background.
It's great.
It's like
is that like dead Aunt May or Uncle Ben on the ground there?
I don't know. It looks like it could be.
The head's turned sideways there.
I just love that they're letting the crows pick at whoever's dead body it is. They're just like, that's all right. That's not going to affect the evidence at all.
No.
So,
like, where's Dent? Where's Dent?
That, and when it comes to toy Batmobiles, I think that version is my favorite.
Awesome.
I have different favorites in the movies, but as far as like a toy version, I think that Batmobile is my favorite.
Gotcha.
So, all right. Well, I wonder whose this is.
I don't know. I did have a couple other pictures, but I saw this the day, I think, when I had to send my pictures to you. That's Thistlethorn wearing a nice soft goods green cape, which I'm gonna have to get something like that for him myself one day. And I think, man, I can't tell. I think that's a Gandalf staff. I'm not sure. I feel like I've seen that. But yeah, it's really cool. Yeah. 2D troll face, of course.
Oh yeah, Lauren. That's Lauren's 2D troll face.
Again, we've got some natural elements. It looks like some artificial plants and stuff, but the way it's posed and everything, is really fun. Seeing him in that crisp, bright green environment, I just really dig it. So yeah.
Did you say you did or did not know what cloak that is?
I mean, I think it's one I've seen on eBay because it looks like it has like the Lord of the Rings leaf brooch, but I could be wrong.
Mm-hmm. I think you might be right, but yeah.
The ones I've seen usually look like they had a smoother texture, so I don't know if they just have a similar pin. So I didn't want to name it and be wrong.
Gotcha. Yeah, I was not following that gentleman, but I am now.
So yeah, and this is geek.gauntlets on Instagram.
Beautiful. Yeah, I don't see where it says on there. So, but that is cool. I like the little clip up here for it. It's very like Clash of the Titans-y. So, cool. Like that a lot. It's a good shot. I mean, I'm not surprised, with it being this character that you selected it, but all in all, it's a, great photo anyway, and good mix of parts. And I do not have this figure. I'm hoping to score one at some point because it is a cool figure.
You don't?
I give you shit. No, I don't have one.
No.
Oh, wow. I don't think I knew that.
Yeah. No, I don't have that figure. I do think it's a cool one, and I would like to add it to my flock, which, I'm not like the biggest flock fan in the world, but I think he's a necessary part of that group, and I do not have him. So yeah, that'd be cool to find some point.
I'm willing to put money on the fact we'll see an updated version of him at some point.
That'd be cool. This is IofNatu, and he had two versions of this shot. He had this one, which I thought was really cool, and then it was basically the same photo, but it had then it said like Edgar Allan Poe's Mask of the Red Death like over top of this picture. But I liked this one for the show because you can see more of the photo. And I love the way he's got it posed, like crouched down real low, the way that lighting is coming in behind the clock. Like, I feel like the lighting on this is absolutely stellar. Just an amazing job. So
I love that the mask is off, but you still can't really see what's underneath the mask, the way it's posed and staged. And it's IofNatu, the Watcher from Marvel.
Okay, what did I say?
I don't know, but not
Okay,
that. But that's okay.
I said it wrong. Okay.
There was an extra consonant in there somewhere.
Okay. All right. Well, there you go. Hey, that's how it's pronounced apparently. But does some awesome photography, and this is this is one of the better ones that I've seen. I think this could easily be candidate for like photo of the year or something. I absolutely love the way that light's coming in behind that clock. So
I agree.
Yeah. It takes it from Edgar Allan Poe. This makes me feel more like H.P. Lovecraft writing Red Death, just the way it's creeping and crawling forward like that.
Yeah. And last but not least, Jesse.
All right. This is Toys Got Me. I believe this is the NECA Gillman, Creature from the Black Lagoon.
Yeah.
I'm fairly certain this actually is underwater. I think there were some behind the scenes shots on their page showing this is an actual underwater shot. So yeah, check out Toys Got Me. Creature from the Black Lagoon is my favorite from the classic Universal Monsters. I mean, he's got the best motivation of any of them. And this shot just being in water and with the plant, like it feels like a shot out of like a colorized version of the movie. So
oh wow, that's really cool. Like I was not following this account and I just did, but you're right, like after the photos they've got a video of the figure underwater and like you actually see it, the video camera go underwater and start filming.
Okay.
It is like
I wish I would have trusted that, but this was one of the first ones I think I grabbed, so it was the furthest back in my memory, so I kind of forget after I snapped the screenshot.
Yeah, that's cool. Well, I had a new one this week and I added a couple more that you had on there, so got some new Instagram accounts saved in my following. And yeah, folks, if you liked any of those photos and you're not following those people on Instagram, please hit them up because they're doing some great work. So
totally. And yes, best motivation. He sees a pretty girl on a boat. What else? I mean,
that's
the Wolfman's hungry and wants to eat. Frankenstein's monster is, that's whole thing. Dracula just wants to suck people's blood. I mean, he's trying to get a girlfriend.
I don't know, man. The swamp creature, he likes the girls, but the girls don't like him. Like Dracula.
I didn't say his approach was correct. I just said he has the best motivation.
Might have the best motivation, but I mean, Dracula's a lot cooler. I mean, Dracula actually gets the girls to like him. So just saying.
That's all. They don't like him for him. They like him because he charms them, like with manipulation.
Sometimes you got to use what at your disposal, man. Sometimes it's looks. Sometimes it's vampire skills.
I don't know. Plus, he's wearing like fancy suits and medallions and like.
Yeah, he knows how. He's a dresser, man.
Yeah.
So you're gonna knock him because he knows how to dress better than a swamp creature?
I'm just saying, as far as my
your guy's walking around naked.
What? There's no love for Bride of Frankenstein?
She's great too, but like I don't know what her motivation is. I don't remember. It's been a long time since I've seen
her motivation is to look and scream and look and scream and
have the hair that goes.
Yeah,
she does have the best. She has the best hair of any of the Universal monsters.
That's a fact.
Well, there is Elvira because she's got some cool
Universal monsters.
Oh, Universal. Okay, yeah, Universal.
Classic Universal.
Yeah. We're talking horror, Okay, maybe.
Yeah.
Elvira's in there. Cool.
Very nice. So, Brad, how are you doing, sir?
I am doing good.
Yeah?
I'm doing good. It's Sunday. I'm chilling. Got most of my stuff done that I needed to get done. And
we're almost at LegionsCon, man. We're a couple weeks away.
You know what? It's it's fun.
Mhm.
It's always exciting, but I'm sure you and everybody else, you're starting to feel the anxiety a little bit.
Yeah.
You're starting to feel like, and it's good anxiety. It's not like,
Mhm.
oh, it's bad anxiety. It's always good. Obviously,
Let's call it anticipation.
I'm not a big, in the customizing world. I'm more of a, my customizing's more drilling out NECA heads and pop. But I
Hey.
go as in painting and stuff, but I get it. All the customizers, the painters, I could see where, even I think Eric Miller was talking about, hey, I had so many heads I need to get done. I gotta, I have a, so you set something in your head. So I feel like if there's a deadline in your head, then it could be stressful getting all that stuff done. But as for me, just trying to put stuff on my table and whatnot, I go, it's.
Yeah, it can get there. I mean, I know Jesse and I have kind of talked about like not putting that pressure on yourself, like, and we kind of preach that to people, like, whatever you get done is what you get done, and try not to put limits on yourself that makes you stress out. That all being said, like today, I was freaking out a little bit, not about the deadline, but like I was working on. Len had sent me some cookie heads. They're heads of Len's friend Cookie. Happy birthday, Cookie, if you're watching. And I've been working on those for the last couple days. And man, today it was giving me problems, man. I was sitting there, like the eyes on it are really small. So I'm trying to get the eyes right. And then he's got this spot where his bandana goes, and then there's some head like past the bandana, but then hair hanging over it. So you got to get under the hair to get the scalp, but then get the hair and not mess up the bandana. And I was just having some problems. And then I'm holding one of them and I dropped it right onto my wet palette and got paint all over it. And I'm like, you gotta be freaking kidding. I've never done that. As long as I've been painting, I've never dropped a head in paint. And
Oh man, I do it almost every time.
Oh God, it was terrible. I was like freaking out, and I just like I picked it up and I just dunked it in water, and I tried to get off as much of it as I could. And I got most of it off, but man, I was freaking out. But I hear what you're saying. Like as it gets down to the wire and you're trying to finish up stuff, even if you're trying not to put, stressful situations on yourself, it does start to get to like, okay, I got to make sure I don't forget any of this stuff. And yeah. So
even before, like me and Jesse were talking beforehand about even, I was talking with Reynolds Cruz, just trying to find space. We're trying to, the totes, who's got the biggest car where we can fit stuff, orchestrating that type of stuff out. What do you have? Send me pictures so I can determine, this and that. So I go, but it's fun though. It's cool. And like I said, in the end, I go, we're going to get there somehow. If we're cram packed, I go, money too. I go, we're always worried about money. I go, money's a big issue. But I guess at this point, the hotel's already paid for.
The heads up on, I believe someone was telling me that there is, like most hotels, they charge you like an extra like security deposit or whatever. I don't know if usually you can waive it depending on where you go. So just be prepared if you're checking in, at least at the venue hotel. I want to say someone told me it was around $200 for the and as far as getting ready, I was telling Brad before you joined in, Curtis, I was literally painting some heads and like my fingers were cramping up where I have to like set the head, like put my head somewhere so it wouldn't hit the paint wouldn't get stuck to my workspace, and then like pry my fingers open and take the brush out of my hand. It was just crazy cramping up. It was nuts.
Yeah. And then, I mean, you're right about like the expense of it and stuff. Like if you're going, I don't know too many people that are going to LegionsCon and making money. I mean, you're doing well if you can recoup some of the money you spent, but it's not cheap. I mean, like I see people last year, afterwards, like some people that didn't go to the convention and they were like complaining because they didn't get a chance to get one of the the exclusives, and then on eBay they were selling for more money. And it's like, okay, yeah, but you didn't have to pay for a hotel, you didn't have to pay for travel, you didn't have to, so you have your choices to make. Are you going to pay all that stuff and then get it at the better price, or are you just going to pay a little extra on eBay?
Yeah, and that's the thing I try to tell people that, and I think Walter preaches it too. Like, dude, it costs money to go to these cons.
Yeah,
like, it's not cheap, especially a big con like this. And Dave's got a good idea. He talked $50 a day. That could be, food, whatnot. The breakfast should be free. I think it's complimentary breakfast, so you should have a breakfast, lunch and dinner.
Do we know that for sure? Because I know some hotels, like, they have breakfast, but you have to pay for it.
Okay. It was last year as well.
Yeah, last year's was,
and it was actually pretty good.
It wasn't bad.
It wasn't bad at all. It was actually really good.
Let's see if the website says anything.
I will say, anyone that's staying at the hotel, just be glad you're staying there. And like, once you're there, you're pretty much there. You don't have to really do anything or go anywhere.
I tell you what'll help, though. Bring some water with you. Bring a 12-pack. Bring a case of water. Keep it in your hotel room. Yeah,
bring it in the hotel room. That's what me and Mike do. We always bring a bag or case of water. Have it in the back seat.
I would also recommend maybe some crackers. Like those little variety packs of crackers, just so you can have something, especially if you're working a table, and especially if you're on your own at a table, or if you're like me last year and just refuse to leave. And even the people who wanted to help me, I wouldn't leave. Just something to munch on.
Are you saying you don't want anybody's blood sugar to get low? Is that what you're saying?
Well, I'm saying I don't want my blood sugar to get low. I don't want to have a crash like I did last year.
Could you imagine if Ryan K. Anthony hadn't have found or fixed the air conditioning on Friday? We'd have been so hot.
I mean, let's be honest. It was still miserable even with that. But yes, it was going to be more miserable without it.
There were certain areas I noticed where I was walking by going, dude, it's like freezing cold in this section right here.
Yeah, but where there was people, it was warm.
Yeah. Friday was terrible.
I will say that, Friday's setup was, it was drenched.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Sweating bullets.
The sad thing is, last year I had a case of water in the car, but between unloading and everything and just me not communicating with Sean, we never got it in the building. And I didn't go out to my car again until they wheeled me out in that wheelchair to take me home.
Oh my God. Funny.
So we were talking about, leading up to LegionsCon, and you were saying you kind of getting stressed. Like, what exactly are you guys going to, if people come visit the Legions Lair table, what can they expect to find there?
Well, I've been debating. Obviously, me and Mike are going to be there. Me and Mike are going to have customs, and we've actually got some customs from people who have been on the show.
Cool.
Certain things, and we'll have them displayed. Brian Almeida should have a dial on our table. Actually, he should have a couple dials on our table. And we'll have some figures with different custom heads and different things that for Eric Miller. I'm trying to think who else I got. I think I got Noah Pratt, Dennis Derby's, Reynolds Cruz, some other ones.
All display or anything for sale?
And that's the thing. I go some both, a little bit of both. So so we'll have some for display. And I think me and Mike's, obviously I'll have Brad on there, and Mike will have his Caspilar there. So obviously we don't want to sell those figures, but
of course not.
There'll be some if obviously if somebody wants to buy something, purchase something, But I have been debating on if I should bring my Seventh Kingdom collection. So I may have that on the table for sale.
Very nice.
Oh wow.
The complete collection. I was going to do a claim sale beforehand so I didn't have to bring it, but I thought, then that kind of takes it away from the people that are coming to the con.
Yeah.
you know, so I go, maybe I would just
And then you don't have to do shipping.
that as well. I mean, yeah, I have to drive it 6 hours there, you know, but at the same time, I go, and whatever's, you know, I go, if I do bring it, whatever's left, then, you know, maybe I'll do a claim sale if there.
Curtis, you need to ride with Brad, because if it's 6 hours for Brad to get there, it's like 5.5, 6 hours from where I live to get to Brad's place. And it's about 2.5 to 3 hours for me to get to the convention. So he's got the right set of wheels and the right
he's traveling at the right
to
speed
get across Pennsylvania. Well,
it's
maybe
literally
not
the
the legal
highway
speed.
right up the street. I mean, I could get to the highway in 10 minutes, and then it's just a straight, literally, it's a straight shot.
I just don't know how you're crossing Pennsylvania in 3 hours. And
yeah,
getting
I don't
to
know
New
either.
Jersey.
That state is like forever long. So
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, and the thing is, where I'm at, I'm right on the border of Pennsylvania almost.
Hmm.
I'm in Akron, but I'm on like the west side of Akron.
Hmm.
Before you get into the rural areas of the country life. But literally, you jump on 76 and you just take it all the way there.
Yeah.
And it's a straight shot. It's weird because you go there, you don't pay anything. And then on the way back, there's like this toll booth. And me and Mike were all like, wait a minute, hold on a minute. We didn't pay coming in, you know, and we thought there might have been a way to get around it, but there's not. So
don't even get me started on those tolls, man. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, so we paid the guy, and it was like $7 or whatever, and that was fine. And I asked the guy, I said, how come you don't pay coming in, but you pay? And that's what he said. He goes, yeah. He goes, I go, what if I was going that way and some other way? He goes, well, then you don't pay. And I was like, oh. He's like, but if you come back, then you have to pay. And I'm like, okay, well, cool.
Crazy. What about like you guys? I'm guessing you guys are gonna have like stickers, shirts, things like that.
Oh yeah, obviously we're gonna have shirts to give away. We'll have stickers. I'll probably have stickers of the custom. So whoever's custom did, or you know, then I'll have the sticker by that custom, so they'll know, you know, who did what.
You gotta have some Legions lady stickers, or you're gonna forget them like you did at MesquiCon.
I did bring them for PowerCon, and somebody asked me, and I was like, you know what? They're in the car. I'll be right back. And I which, you know, they didn't realize the car was like 3 miles on the other side of the convention, but it was okay. That was great.
Well, I know my wife will be there, and she'll want to get one of those stickers if you got them. So
yes, I'll have Legions ladies stickers. Those will be there as well. Trying to think what else. I'm debating if I even want to bring. I don't know, because I'm running out of room. That's my problem. Mm-hmm. You know, obviously you can see behind me, I have a whole wall of cabinet. I mean, that wall's gone. The whole Mythic Legion collection is sitting in front of me here. The flags here. I've taken over another room in the house. Lauren's like, what the hell's going on?
My wife's waving, Lauren. They were saying hi to each other. Yeah, I would say just get rid of the pops, man. Like
those are gone. Yeah, those are gone. Those are slowly. Yeah, those are slowly gone. What I'd actually like to do is I don't know if people can notice on the show, but the top of the cabinet is all Crashbox Customs. You know, with the trolls, and I'd like to have that. You know, dios, because I have dios, so I'm thinking I could fill up.
I mean, that looks like prime dragon space up top there.
Oh, dude, it is. I don't know. I mean, it's. I mean, that could all be dio work right there. Let me see if I can turn. Yeah, that could all be dio work right there.
Yeah, if we get a dragon next year, that would be a good spot way up there at the top.
It sucks because I tried to put my quarter scale figures up there.
Yeah.
And they're just a tad bit tall. And I'm like, because I was like, that'd be the perfect place to put them. Lauren probably freak out. Like,
just got to get them all. Just get them all. Like, I mean, just have them sitting.
Yeah.
Like class, like the old school class photo where you're all sitting in front of the stage in elementary school.
That's the thing. I would really have to put them in like bend poses and get them kind of crouchety and stuff. But then when I feel like when I do that, I'm afraid they're going to rock over, fall over.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't.
Especially the big ones.
I've got a few of the 1/6 scale, the Mondos, but I couldn't do quarter scale. I don't have room for that. Those are just too huge.
Well, that's why I kind of got out of it. Only ones I have left I think I have quarter scale RoboCop, Terminator, and Dutch from Predator.
Well, you gotta have that.
And then I have Predator.
Yeah.
But I was gonna go down the Turtle quarter scale because of the movie ones, and I'm like, those look really good, but I can't. So.
You son of a Dylan.
Yeah, you son of a bitch. Yeah, I got all those down there. My son loves those. He still likes to watch those. That's why I said Arnold's one of those characters where the movies he plays in, it's kind of even generations later, even a young boy, my son, he's 11 now, but I mean, he comes in, he sees that stuff, and he goes, "Well, I want to know what those movies are about." So then I let him watch Predator. I was 5, I think, when I watched Predator, which my mom probably shouldn't have let me watch.
Yeah.
My mom was cool because she was laughing at the scenes, all the scary scenes. She would be laughing and joking, so it kind of made it more comfortable. So at the same time,
what was it about Arnold? Like, why is he the one like you've latched onto so strongly?
I don't know what it happened. I've even as a kid, I've always done Arnold impressions. It was one of those things, and then they would do Arnold impressions on TV, and I would just mimic those and whatnot. I remember listening to Sam Kinison. I think I had a Sam Kinison like stand up, and he's making fun of Arnold, from the late 80s and stuff, and it was hilarious, what the stuff he was saying. It was really vulgar,
Right.
But at the same time, it was hilarious. So, and I loved Arnold, so it was like you could make fun of him and watch him and like him. It was just one of those type of guys. And even the controversial stuff I think he's done, it's kind of like, whatever,
So what
compared to what other people have done? Yeah, it's definitely.
Yeah, I'm like, you know what? We all make mistakes. I get, I try not to dwell on that. I look, because I'm like, I don't want to ruin stuff from my childhood. I look at him as, even the corny movies I feel like he's done, like Turbo Man or Kindergarten Cop. I go, those were great movies. I go, just.
All right, we're gonna hit you with some Legions Lair stuff here. We're gonna put you in the hot seat. Give us your top 3 Arnold movies, 3-1.
Top 3 Arnold movies. I think I know what number 1 is. I'm gonna say number 3 is, this is probably weird. I love the movie Running Man.
Very good. Love the Running Man.
Running Man was a really cool movie. It's kind of an underrated movie. Some people overlook it, but I go, it was a cool movie.
Dawson was great in that movie, especially when he hits him with the "I'll be back" line, and he says, "Only in reruns."
Yeah, yeah. His one-liners are the best, though. I mean, nobody has one-liners like him. I mean, his one-liners are amazing. Number 2, I'm probably gonna have to go with Terminator 2.
T2. Gotcha.
T2,
classic.
because that was a classic. T1 was Terminator 1. I put more in the horror. You can almost say that was like a horror
kind
movie.
of a B horror flick. Like it, like they had the special effects were kind of rough, but yeah, it got to T2 and they really amped it up.
Yeah, I think I've told this story before. I used to watch around here. They have it's called Big Chuck and Little John, where it's on Saturday nights. They would cut the hell out of the movie when they would show a lot of their like homemade skits that these guys would make, and they were funny. They really went out of their way to make these skits, be hilarious, like your own home Saturday Night Live type thing.
Mm-hmm.
And my aunt, we used to watch. She let us stay up late and watch it. And Terminator was on, and I remember when it got to that scene where he's like pulling out his eye and he's like going into his arm and everything. Like to me, I remember that scene as a kid. And being like terrified, like that was creepy as hell when he's looking in the mirror and like pulling out his eye and the blood's dripping in the, Well, I play that movie for my son and he's like, "This is really cheesy." And I'm looking over and I'm like, "Yeah, I guess I get." And I was thinking the same thing before he said it. I was thinking, "Wow, this is really corny and cheesy." Like as a kid, I was terrified to see that blood
Yeah.
dripping in there.
I was just terrified to see naked Arnold. So.
Oh yeah, there was naked Arnold. Yeah, there was. Somebody said Commando. I would say Commando was in there. Conan the Barbarian was cool. But I would say my number one would have to be, I guess, Predator.
Very good.
Yeah, I would have to go Predator.
And if you had one Arnold film that you had to just throw out, forget it, never happened, didn't even occur.
Yep. Though you know what? I don't even know what it's called. It's the one where he gets pregnant with the baby.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. I can't think of the name of it though.
Junior.
Maybe it's having a baby.
What is it, Jesse?
Junior.
That's it.
Yes. Yep. Get that hell out of here.
That's gone.
Get out of here. If I was Arnold, I would throw that shit right in the trash can.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you though. I even like silly ones like Last Action Hero, that was a pretty good movie.
Last Action Hero was actually going to be number 3.
Yeah,
but I replaced it with Running Man.
It's very underrated. I don't think people give it the credit it deserves.
It's really good. And what's even better is, and I don't know if you've noticed this, the soundtrack to Last Action Hero is actually really good.
I haven't watched it in a while, but yeah.
We had the CD growing up, and I mean, it's got Megadeth, Alice in Chains, Queensryche, and then it's even got like weird stuff like Cypress Hill, Def Leppard.
Oh, that's cool. I'll have to go back and listen to it.
Redbone or Bone, yeah. It's got some other cool ones. And I was thinking, dude, that CD, I remember jamming to that CD, dude. We were like, put that in and just jam out. And people be like, what the hell is it? Like, that's the Last Action Hero soundtrack.
Like, I saw a couple of people, Wholesome Warlock and Joseph said Twins. That would have been my number one. Like Twins, that movie cracks me up.
I like
Twins. That'd be in my top 3 as well. I saw that movie so many times.
We brothers.
Yeah. And I liked the Conan movies, but and I may take some heat from this one, especially from like Stephen Bashti, but I like Red Sonja better than both Conan movies.
I could see that. Conan 1 was good.
They're both. I liked both of them, but I thought Red Sonja was in that sword and sorcery genre. I thought that movie was just a better movie overall. So he basically plays the same role, like they don't call him Conan in the Red Sonja movie, but it's the same character.
Yeah,
you know.
I always say this too. I let my son watch that as well, and I didn't realize how much ass Arnold was getting in those movies. I mean, he was getting it like left and right. I don't know how many times I had to hit fast forward on Conan, and he's like, "Dad, what are you doing?" And I'm like, "Oh."
It's funny because I watch a lot of movies with the kids. We have like a family night every weekend. We have one movie that we watch, and it's usually a lot of movies from like the early 80s and stuff. And anytime like a scene that I had forgotten about like that comes on and there's some nudity, my kids go, "It's the 80s." Like they gotta throw in a nude scene here in a comedy,
Conan, it was different, but 80s. I love 80s movies, man.
Oh yeah.
And you know what I think about 80s movies is when you look back at all 80s movies, they always started off kind of weary, but they always had a great ending. Mm-hmm. Something always bad happens, Karate Kid, something bad happened, and in the end, he wins. Yep. I go everything. Every movie was like had this happy endings. Mm-hmm. John Hughes, freaking love that dude. I wish he was still alive making movies. Yeah. Those were just the best. The
movie starts out okay, then something terrible happens, and then they fix it. And it's
And then I feel like the 90s came and we got movies like Seven, and we're like, dude, what the hell is this shit?
Yeah.
Like, I remember being in the movies like, what the hell is going on?
Oh man. The whole
then I watched Scream. I'm like, dude, what the hell?
Yeah.
And then Blair Witch. I'm like, dude, they just keep getting worse.
I just saw something here, and I gotta ask if everything's okay with the lair, because your partner here says Conan sucked.
Damn you, Michael. Wait, did you get back in the lair on Tuesday? 10 lashes, Michael.
Wow.
No, 12 lashes, Michael. One for every hour you worked at the jail, damn you.
You're going to have him push that wheel around like Conan had to.
My God.
Yeah.
Well,
Dude,
another thing,
could you imagine the size that Michael could be by LegionsCon?
There you go. Just push the wheel around for a couple of days.
the one of the fun things about 80 movies, I think, is like not everybody was like drop dead gorgeous or handsome,
but everybody was naked.
but like I mean like you had stuff, you had like Dana Carvey was like, in comedy. There's one, I think he was trying to be a detective in one, like, and some of it's a bit, they're all very ridiculous. It's like somewhere near the beach. I can't remember what it was, but I remember loving that movie. But like, like not everybody was like photoshopped model looking thing. And people just looked like people.
Mr. Miyagi and Jay Leno. Do you remember that movie? There was a movie.
Oh my God.
It was an 80s movie where they're detectives or something, and he had used Mr. Miyagi.
Gosh, I forgot.
Yeah.
All about that.
And it was a great movie. I go, you forget about leaving corny, like little side 80s movies that were like, dude, those were just, everything was great.
Yeah.
I just
one of my movies like that is like people don't talk about. It was what was it? James Woods and Michael J. Fox, Hard Way. That's one of those like kind of where James Woods is the cop and Michael J. Fox is like an actor that's going to play a cop in a movie, and so he like pulls his connections to be able to follow him around for a while. And it's just like really stupid but funny, and
even what Jim Belushi had some side movies, where he's not a big popular actor, but they were cool.
He had
Red Heat.
We were talking about a couple off-worlds ago. Jim Belushi was in the movie Mr. Destiny. That's one of my favorites. It's like he's basically, he's married, he's living in a suburban neighborhood, regular kind of ho-hum life, working a 9-to-5 job. But he's like, he always thought like if he would have hit that one baseball in the high school game, like it would have changed his whole life. Yeah. And his car breaks down. And where his car breaks down, there's like a little bar there, and he goes in, and Michael Caine's there, and Michael Caine is the bartender, and he mixes him a drink and gives it to him. And when he drinks this drink,
collision course,
he hit the baseball, he married the prom queen, and his whole life changed. And then he starts missing his old life, his old friends and everything. It's kind of it's an interesting movie, but good stuff.
Yeah, I think
80s movies were fun.
Yeah, I loved 80s movies. My son, it's funny because he watches them. What did he just watch with me? He said he didn't want to watch it. He was being like kind of a douche.
Yeah.
Kids are, and you're like, come on, just I don't want to play Roblox, and it's like, come on, get in here. And I said, well, I'm going to start the movie without you, and it was Rocky IV. I love Rocky IV.
Oh yeah, ended the Cold War.
Dude, there was a couple minutes in the Rocky, I could see him over there like. And then it's like he's watching, then now he's watching, and he was into it the whole time.
Oh yeah.
And he's looking at me like, Dad, did that guy die? Did that black guy die? Did Apollo die? Is he really dead? And I'm like, yeah, he died. I'm like, didn't you hear the Russian say?
If he dies, he dies.
He dies. I will break you.
Yeah.
And dude, he was into it, man. So he watches that.
I made one of my daughters write a paper for school that I made her watch Rocky IV and then write a paper for school how Rocky ended the Cold War.
Yeah.
she got a passing grade on the paper.
Cause I heard things and you heard things.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love you and you loves me.
It's a good one. I tell you what, one that I wasn't like super a fan of when I was a kid, but my kids loved it was Encino Man. I played that for them. Dude, they loved, like they talk about it all the time.
Was that one?
What's that?
Was Encino Man Squeeze the Juice?
Yeah,
He's in
yeah,
the
we
juice.
the juice.
Don't squeeze the
Yeah,
He's in the
juice. Don't squeeze the
juice.
juice.
yeah. Pauly Shore
Ow,
and Brendan
bud.
Yeah.
Fraser and yeah,
Yeah.
they love that thing, man. And
You
anything
know
with
what?
Bill
That was
Murray, my kid, John Candy or Bill Murray, my kids love it.
oh
I remember when I saw Encino Man, like I remember growing up pretty conservative home, like anything related to evolution, I was like, I can't watch it, can't watch, you know, like it
Mhm.
was like, it was always in my comic books, like the ads for it and all this stuff. And I think I finally watched it. I think I taped it. It was like HBO preview weekends or whatever. And I taped it. And I remember one time my mom started to play the tape and it was the end. Like I had gotten to the end of the movie. It was when they woke up the girl
Yeah,
at the
yeah.
end of the movie, you know, and my mom was like, what is this? I was like,
Oh shit.
because she's like all muddy and there's like
Yeah.
the boob imprints on the
Yeah.
glass or whatever from her like muddy body or whatever. It wasn't like it wasn't like explicit by any, I mean it's a PG-13 movie barely,
Yeah.
and you know, but it was just like it had gotten to the end. I just didn't rewind the tape or whatever, so I turned the TV off and it was still in there. So yeah, it started up and she was just, I got the riot act for that one.
That's funny.
Oh, well, there's obviously those great 80s movies like Risky Business, you know, where,
Yeah.
you know, you're like,
Never saw it.
you look over and your dad falls asleep and you're like, hell yes,
Yeah,
dude, we're
Risky-
watching this shit.
Yeah, Risky Business is like softcore porn. Like that's yeah.
Dude, I remember my dad snoring. I'd be like, just stay asleep because I want to see what's going to happen.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, I'd come in the room and I'd make my dad be in there sleeping. My dad always kept the TV on. He would go to bed with the TV on. And
Can you-
I'd come
can
in and
you
I'd be like,
imagine-
"Porkies,
change the
what's
channel?"
Porkies?
Yeah.
Did he wake up? Did you wake up if you change the channel?
He would. He would.
No, I was
yeah,
watching
yeah.
that. Like you've been asleep for 2 hours. You don't even know what this is.
I can remember being in there and like waking up. MTV would be on, man, and it'd be like "Welcome to the Jungle" or something, and I would like wake up and be like, "What the hell is going on?"
Can you imagine like pitching the movie Risky Business today?
Oh
You're
my!
like, yeah, so this kid's parents go out of town. He's a teenager and he gets hooked up with a prostitute. Then him and her pimp get into it a little bit and they're gonna have a whole thing and they're gonna tear up the house and stuff. And he's got to get the house fixed up before the parents come home, but he's really still in love with the prostitute. I mean, like,
Dude, it was even as a young kid, I remember not knowing a lot about what was really going on. I think I was more curious that, hey, that was a girl that was pretty and I wanted him to like her and
yeah.
get with her. And but I remember watching it later as a, you know, as in like an adult, I guess.
Yeah.
And being like, whoa, like this is kind of
Yeah.
what the hell?
Yeah, they couldn't get away with that today. That would be
No, there
I
would
don't
be
see that.
definitely not. But yeah, there's definitely some old. I mean, dude, Revenge of the Nerds or Nerds. I mean, those are all great movies. Police Academy. I mean, this just.
I think I started watching Police Academy with my kids, and I think we got to like 3, and then they're like, "Okay, we're done with these. Like, this is."
They do get a little repetitive, I guess.
Yeah,
You
they're
know,
like, "That's enough."
Oh,
Yeah.
what was that one with Steve Guttenberg with the like the he
That's all
gets
of them.
he inherit no, where he inherits like a haunted house. It's not a Police Academy movie.
Oh, I think I've seen what you're
And
And
talking
he
about.
falls in
House?
love with like the one ghost lady or something.
I can't remember the name of it, but I know what you're talking about.
Well, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Wholesome Warlock says Rodney Dangerfield. Dude, Back to School. That was a
Oh,
a great one.
dude. That's
Weird Science is another one you probably couldn't get away with today. Like they're
High Spirits.
Weird Science was cool. Yeah.
Yeah, you can't get
Weird
away
Science
with
was great.
weird
Yeah,
Science.
you wouldn't get away with the Weird Science. No, definitely not. Money, yeah, definitely not. Big.
I mean, it was kind of a Bride of Frankenstein kind of thing when you think about it. So, yeah.
Dude, I mean, even
I
like
think-
Breakfast Club, those type of movies. I mean, they were. I mean,
Oh yeah, I love.
you know, and
Breakfast
obviously
Club.
we're talking. You know, like I went back to the John Hughes, but those like 16 Candles, like those were just great movies. You know.
Yeah.
You know what? One of my favorite '80s movies, and this is going completely opposite end of the spectrum here, was The Journey of Natty Gann.
No
Okay.
idea
It's
what
the
that
Disney
is.
movie.
Yeah.
It's set. I mean, Curtis, it's right up your alley. It's set in the
Oh, yeah?
Depression. This girl's dad he like goes west to to find work, and she's got like this horrible landlord that's kind of telling her what to do. So she runs away to find it. She's like hitchhiking across the country, and oh crap, what's his name? John High Fidelity, Gross Point Blank.
Cusack.
John Cusack, yeah.
Cusack.
Like she finds this wolf. She like saves this wolf from like a fighting pit, and like they go on this journey across the country. It's a Disney movie, but I watched that movie because there was a wolf in it. I was like, I'm watching this movie like all the time. I watched that movie. But I mean, it's a pretty straightforward. Like it's like a drama, drama adventure type thing, but yeah, man, I remember I wasn't allowed to watch so many of these movies as a kid. Like, I somehow
Starfighter.
I recently watched that because of
Yeah,
Curtis's
that's a good movie.
recommendation. That was fun.
Yeah, that was a cool movie.
Starfighter.
Yeah, that was a cool movie.
Like Breakfast Club. I think I was in college before I actually watched that straight through.
Man.
I've never seen Flashdance, Joe. And I didn't like Dirty Dancing.
Nobody put Jesse in the corner.
I got detention one time in high school, and it was nothing like Breakfast Club. I can tell you that.
Oh, what's that? You just said your high school.
I got detention one time in high school. It was nothing like Breakfast Club.
Mine was not. It was a lot more people. It was probably like quadruple the amount of people that were in that room.
Yeah, they had like a teacher that was trying to like make extra money or something, or that like had to work, and they would just sit there the whole time. And if you said anything, it was like, yeah, shut up.
Is it sad that I remember being at that one detention on Saturday and being like, I hope this turns into like the Breakfast Club. I'm thinking we're gonna sneak off and like someone's gonna have a stash somewhere.
Yeah, yeah.
In their locker, we're gonna like go do shit.
Yeah. I can. It's in Brian's pants.
Yeah, dude. Oh my gosh. That's another movie where I watched as a kid, and then you watch later, and you're like, "Dude, what? They were smoking?" And oh my gosh, what?
I remember what I got detention for too. The one time I was in math class, and like there was an assignment, and I did the assignment. It was a really crappy assignment. Like it was a lot of problems and stuff, and a bunch of other kids didn't do the assignment. Like they just didn't do it. And so the teacher went to go collect the papers, and a bunch of kids said that they didn't do it. She's like, all right, well, we'll just skip it. We won't turn it in. And I was pissed because like I actually did the work. And I was like, that's a bunch of crap. And I got detention for saying crap because that was a curse. That was a curse word. Yeah, for crap. So there it is.
Yeah, those are all good
I was
ones.
a bad boy. I said crap in high school.
I remember
that was high school?
Yeah.
Somebody got sent to the principal for saying freaking. He said freaking, and the guy's like, "You're done. That's the same thing as effing. Get out."
Nice.
Okay. This is. I don't know what movies I had watched, or maybe my stepdad had said it, but growing up, conservative Christian home, I was in 5th grade. I don't remember what happened. Oh, I was playing Oregon Trail on the computer in 5th grade. And I think I died, or it was me and someone else. We were playing. I don't remember. We died. Indian attack, something. And I said, Jesus Christ, like out loud at the computer, which is not a thing. I don't know. It just slipped out. And my teacher was like, Jesse, you're staying inside at recess.
And your mom heard it from a zip code away?
No, that one I didn't get. That one didn't, I think because she realized it was such an out of character thing for me to say that like, that was kind of like, yeah. But that led me to looking at my brother's comic books that I had snuck into my backpack that day during recess because I was allowed to read during recess. So I was reading comic books and Secret Wars. But yeah, that was the closest I did the year before in 4th grade. I slapped a kid in the face with my Trapper Keeper because I was just sick and tired of him making fun of me on the bus.
Sometimes that happens.
I pretended to trip and just full on just slap like lunch tray wrestling move across the face with the Trapper Keeper. And I convinced him it was an accident. I was like, Todd, I'm sorry, I tripped. He's full on mocking me. I convinced him to the point he got called to the principal's office before I did. And I basically backed up his story. It was not a proud moment, but I never had detention.
Wow.
In school or
well, let that be a lesson to everybody. Jesse was gaslighting people way back then.
Just be careful how much you tease me, Curtis. Is what I'm trying to say.
No, really, it was your fault that I accidentally tripped and hit you in the face.
But to Jesse's defense, I think there is times where, sometimes people make fun. They may not even be bullies to an extent. They don't realize what they're doing. And then you may try to tell them not to do that. And then they just keep going with it. And sometimes it gets to the point where you have to stick up for yourself. And if that means falling and, using your Trapper Keeper as a shield.
See, and this is the thing. My dating game peaked in 4th grade. Okay, because 4th grade there was this girl
I could see that.
I actually started sitting at the girls' table at lunch because it was boys and girls, sat at their own tables. I was like, I'm gonna sit with her. So I sat there and all this stuff, and I think that's what he was making fun of me because I had a girlfriend in 4th grade, and the next year. The 5th grade, because the school 5th grade was the end of that school, like the highest grade in that school. The 5th grade guys were sitting with girls, so that was kind of like, oh, they're like the seniors of the elementary school kind of a thing, And I think I just got tired of him making fun of me for having a girlfriend, and so I just slapped him with my Trapper Keeper. It was a red Lamborghini. It was also very out of context for me, but it was the 80s. They didn't make turtles Trapper Keepers yet.
I was in a fight in high school that got broken up by the cops, and I got taken home by the police.
Terrible.
That was an interesting one. So, it happens. Yeah, we were playing football in the park. Guy kept calling me names, similar to what Jesse's there, and I told him to knock it off, and he kept doing it. And I'm like, all right, so we got into a fight. He came at me. I took him down. Pummeled the crap out of him. I let him up. I'm like, you done? He's like, yeah, I'm done. And I let him up, and then he charge at me again. I take him down, pummel the crap out of him. So the next day at school, everybody's giving him shit because I kicked the hell out of him. And he's like, well, I want to fight again after school. I'm like, and I'm sitting here thinking, okay, well, I already beat the shit out of him yesterday. I definitely could do it again today. Go and, we meet up at the park. Everybody's gathered around. We start out. I knock him down. I'm pummeling the crap out of him. All of a sudden, I don't even know from where, I get kicked in the face. His older brother, who had just gotten out of prison, I found out, was there and kicked me in the face with steel-toe boots on and broke my nose. Wow. And it was just like blood squirting everywhere. And then the police showed up. I hear the sirens. Everybody takes off like fucking cockroaches, man. They're just like gone. And the police throw me in the back of the cop car. I got blood all down my shirt and stuff. And they take me home. And luckily, my parents weren't home. It was my brother was the only one that was home. And I was like, it was the luckiest thing ever in the world.
He's like, I'll take it from here.
Yeah. Like, whew.
Wow.
Yeah. And not only that, like when I was down on the ground, like after he kicked me and I'm like bleeding everywhere, he burned me with his cigarette.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Yeah, it was not good.
Do you remember the movie, what is it, like Super Bad?
Yeah.
Did you ever see Super Bad?
Yeah.
I remember watching that movie going, oh my God, that was like my high school life a little bit. Like I lived some of this stuff that's going on.
Yeah, it
I
was
remember
crazy,
being in
man.
scenarios like that where it's like, oh, there's a chick. I got to somehow get alcohol or beer to go to this party. Or then you show up to the party and these crazy things happen, you know. And but yeah, it's definitely good times.
Yeah, like
And
I
I
watched.
just wanted my elementary school to have an attic with a bunch of dusty old like stage equipment so I could go read a book and just hide all day like never
Yeah,
ending
it's like the
story.
never ending story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched 3 o'clock high. It's actually somebody just put it on here. Three
Yeah, I was
o'clock
gonna say,
high
yeah,
with
somebody just
my
put it on.
kids, and they were like, "So they just like have a fight after school?" I'm like, "That's what that happened like every day in my high school. Like
Yeah.
every single day there was a fight at 3 o'clock." They're like, "We've never seen a fight in our." I'm like, "Dude,
I
it was
I
every
saw 2
day.
fights maybe.
Oh my god, every day there was a fight at 3 o'clock."
Yeah, see, I went to the inner city. Well, it's funny. My parents split up, so I moved to West Virginia.
Mm,
So I
Oh
went to
gosh.
high school my freshman and sophomore year in West Virginia, and it wasn't like just rural, you know, country area. We're talking like backyard country area. I mean, it was like deep south of the West Virginia
yeah,
jungle, and it was definitely a different walk of life living there. To go to that type of school,
yeah.
you know, I just went to a country type school that I thought was country, you know, and now I'm like, whoa, this is like super crazy hillbilly country.
Yeah, it's like banjo country.
Yeah, you know,
Appalachia is a whole other thing, man.
yeah, I mean, it's crazy. I mean, we lived on a mountain, you know, and you got to like worry about gas, you know, like, all right, well, make sure you got enough to get up there and get back down and get into town, you know, and you know, so
Yep.
you're worried about those type of things. And I went to that school, and then I came up here and moved with my mom my junior year. Cats.
There is
Cats.
Joseph
And
says, Dazed and Confused. I have to hit them once and someone will break it up. That didn't work so well in Dazed and Confused. that dude got his ass kicked.
He did. He got it.
Yeah.
But then I came to the inner city where it was like, you know, it was pretty rough as well. So I went from like hillbilly pants, skin tight jeans, you can count the change in their pockets, to like inner city, you know, school. And then my mom moved to like a more nicer area.
Mm,
So I went to more of like, I guess it wasn't a preppy school, but it was preppier than where I was.
yeah.
And that's how they were. They were, you know, some kid like said something to me and I was ready to, you know, kick his ass. And they're all like, wait a minute, you would fight in school? And I'm like, dude, he made fun of me. He's getting his ass kicked now. You know, and they're like, really? Oh my God. And I'm like, bro, where I come from, like, you don't let that happen.
I had a guy in high school said he was going to stab me. He was going to kill me in school. And like one of the teachers
Metal
overheard
detector,
of it.
yeah.
And they found a knife in his locker and kicked him out. Like, but
Yeah.
like he was fully prepared to just stab me to death.
Remember
So-
in Spanish class freshman year, there's these two this is not a judgment, but there was these two stoner kids in my class who had lighters on them, and they kept flicking them on under my wooden chair and in my ear. They would like pop the lighter like in my ear while I'm, you know. So yeah, I didn't stand up for myself once I got to high school. I did it once in on that school bus in 4th grade, and then once in middle school. Someone was going through my locker, and I ran up from the next hallway, shoved him into it was actually my locker partner. We weren't friends. They just assigned us. And fortunately the teacher came out after like I pushed him into the locker, and then he grabbed me. He was bigger than me, turned around and pushed me into the locker. So that's when the teacher came out and saw him shoving me. So yeah.
So the Dazed and Confused thing did work for you. You got yours off, and then they jumped in.
I didn't punch him or anything. I just kind of like, you know, slammed him into the locker. And yeah.
Well, one of our viewers, let's see, a Lauren Jones here, told us to ask you about your long hair and Jinko jeans.
I was just about to say, I was that kind of stoner kid. I was like the skateboarding alternative stoner kid that got along with everybody. And obviously I'm a people person. Even in high school, I didn't discriminate. So I could walk down and nothing against anybody, but I could say hi to the nerds. I could say hi to the jocks. I could say hi to, the preppy people. It didn't matter.
Yeah.
I just said hi to everybody. I was just a friendly person. That's just who I've always been that way. And I've always been tall. So even in 9th grade, I was 6'4", but I was probably under 200 pounds. So I was probably about 180 or something.
I'm surprised you didn't have like the coaches trying to recruit you for basketball.
Well, I actually played football, and then what happened was my parents split up, and then when I moved to West Virginia, my dad, who was against football, now I'm living with him, and he's like, coaches are calling the house wanting to play, and I'm like, no, Dad, you had your chance, bro. Doing that, man. all right. And I was being a rebellious kid, so I'm like, I obviously had my room filled with Hit Parader magazine posters, of all the rock bands, and it was more or less like a I mean, dude, I had like Marilyn Manson and crazy shit all over my walls. My dad would come upstairs and be like, "What in the hell is wrong with you, son?" And I'd be like, "Don't mess with me, Dad." you know how the rebellious kids are. Yeah, no, but I was a skateboarding kid. I was like skate or die, thrasher. I was all into it. So I wore the Jinko jeans with the big, designs on the side of the pants and different stuff. So I was cool, but I also stuck up for everybody. That was my thing. So I didn't like anybody picking. I was real bad about bullies, so I didn't like that. So when people if I seen some kid who's not as popular, get picked on, then I would have to step up. And that's usually where my fights came in, where it was me telling somebody not to pick on somebody. You know what I mean? Or like, hey, it was funny the first time, but like, leave them alone now. It's okay. And then they would do it again. And the next thing, it's like, dude, I'm going to kick your fucking ass.
So you were like, you're like Rudy from my Monster Squad.
I was cool. Like only a few times because, and that's the thing. I think sometimes people take my kindness for weakness or something. And it's like, dude, I mean, like, I don't nobody likes to get like that. Nobody wants to get like that. But I go, I'm not going to sit here and let you pick on somebody or let you pick on somebody, especially somebody bigger. There was people on the football team that I knew that I'm like, bro, no, don't pick on him. I'm like, he's cool. I'm like, just leave him alone. Because I had skater friends that were like kind of nerdy, and somebody would try to pick on them. I'd be like, dude, don't leave him alone.
Yeah.
Like, cool.
I didn't want to say hi to anybody in the hallway. I wanted to be like unseen, unknown. I just wanted to get through the day.
Invisibility potion.
See, I'd be the one coming to Jesse's aid. I'd be like, dude, don't mess with Jesse, dude.
Yeah.
You're gonna get you. I heard things. No, but it didn't happen a lot. But every now and then I'd be like, you'd have to step up, be like, dude, no. And I wish kids today would do that. I try to teach my son those values, my son was born with club feet. So, I seen him one time making fun of somebody, not, like, oh, look at him, he's retarded or something. And it's like, okay, you know what? You were born with club feet, bro. Don't be over here making fun of nobody, acting like you were all perfect and this and that. And we show him pictures of him as a baby, and he's like, what? That was me? And I'm like, yes, that was you. Oh yeah, now he's scoring touchdowns and everything. So I go, it's cool, But I try to teach him those values. Don't pick on nobody. You don't want to be picked on yourself.
Right.
You know how it is.
Yeah.
And then if you see somebody doing it, tell them to stop. Because he's a tall kid. He's like one of the tallest, bigger kids in his class. So I'm like, trying to help out a little bit.
That might be in his genes a little bit. So
a little bit.
Yeah.
Are they Junko?
Yeah. Not that kind of genes.
Coming back. Speaking of, Trapper Keepers are coming back. So I might.
Are they really?
I don't know if they've always went away. I feel like they've always been around, haven't they?
I feel like I saw one at Target when back to school shopping was going on that looked like stuff. I was like, oh man, these look like stuff I remember from when I was a kid.
Yeah. And I don't think that works for everybody, but I think the way my personality was is a lot of times I didn't have to fight anybody people just respected my opinion at that point. You know, 'cause they knew I was cool, they knew I could be funny and this and that. But then it's like if I told you to stop, then it was like, you know, and
Brad's reached his limit.
yeah, usually they were like, "Oh, Brad's actually being serious." Like, okay, I won't. You know, only a few times people, But like I think Joe even said, "I wish there was more people like that." Yeah, I wish there was.
Yeah. Oh.
So back to LegionsCon. We've got they've announced this new wave. How much shit is your partner going to lose if they give us a Scapular 2.0?
Well, me and Mike have been calling it. So Mike's calling. We're getting Scapular. He already is in his head thinking we're getting Scapular 2.0. So
Yep.
I think if we don't get it, is
Gotcha.
going to shit a brick. And I'm under the assumption that we're going to get Atlas 2.0.
Yeah.
I'm thinking those two just. They showed them in the picture. I mean, the first, when they first showed it, they showed those two figures looking at one another, and I'm like, this would be the time to do that.
Any other things that you're looking forward to or expecting to see?
I'm obviously I'm a big Noble Bear, so I'm excited about Noble Bear. And I've been predicting, and I know some other people have been saying it as well in the Cabal, about the Yak or the big ogre Minotaur that's on the back of the ogre box. I would love to see that. I think this would be the time.
You think we'll get a bear?
I didn't think that they could pull off the skeleton horde.
Same.
I was thinking, yeah, that's probably what you should do, but can you pull it off? Not that they can't, but
it was just so much new tooling, that you're like, well, not only is it new tooling, but it's tooling that they may not get a whole lot of uses out of. So,
and then I was thinking that maybe they'd make it a half bone, half normal horse, because how structure it would be. But dude, they killed it the way they did. So
yeah.
If they can do that, I would say that this would also be the time for a bear mount. Yeah.
That'd be cool.
That's what I mean, now, as much as I know that Noble Bear is going to be awesome, I'm really curious about Red Star. Just because it's the least amount or the smallest amount of figures we have in faction. So what is, I'm curious of what they're going to bring. Are we going to have more Sir Gerard type figures, the changeling types, or is he the only kind? I mean, are we going to have more Grisha kind of mysterious type figures? Or
see, that's one that I think would be a cool 2.0 is Grisha, like, because there's so much mystery behind that story.
Yeah.
I think it would be cool to get kind of an unmasked Grisha or something to kind of extend that story would be kind of cool. But I'm with you that the Red Star is just such a small faction that I'm excited to see kind of what they do with it.
Yeah.
But I think they can really throw anything in there. I mean, it's like when you had Necronominus, you're going to get skeletons, maybe some zombies or whatever. But with Red Star, you could really get anything. Like you could get a skeleton, you could get a dwarf, you could get a knight. I mean, you don't know what's going to be in there.
I agree. Mike thinks that we'll get the Scapular 2.0, but I said, we very well could get another skeleton or another figure with a skeleton head. I mean, maybe we could get, a 1.0 style Grisha figure, or
I'm just being crazy now, just throwing something crazy out here. Okay. What about, because you got the swappable chest plates now, right?
Yep.
What if you did a battle damaged Adamant and Keltis?
You could.
That would be kind of cool.
You could.
Yeah. And you just come with a couple different chest plates that has, one that's regular and then one that's got the damage marks on it and stuff. And
you very well could. Now with Noble Bear, I'm thinking we'll probably get another dwarf.
It's possible. Yeah.
I mean, maybe we could even get a I know Mike hates Ragna for some reason. A lot of people don't like her. I don't know why, but I think she's a pretty figure. Her colors are cool. Maybe
Color's
we can.
great.
Yeah, I think her colors are great. I would like to see her unhelmeted to see what her face looks like, her full face, or maybe even a different female dwarf full-faced figure would be cool. Because I don't think we really have that.
We have, the 2.0 body Ragna, and that's it for female dwarves. I'd love to see a 1.0 female dwarf, like not height, but like the typical dwarf build.
Or that we were that would be great as well. Look, somebody just said 1.0 female. Yeah, I mean, because now that we have what is it, Vorga,
yeah.
Vorga, yeah. That works. Definitely works.
Yeah. I think it'd be cool to get some more like gladiatorial type figures, like the Calavius, something like that would be cool.
That's why I'm looking at my case over here, scanning stuff. Trying to think of what we don't have.
And don't forget, we could always end up with some brute scale stuff. To get some variety. Like, I think this would be a real fun group to.
They've got Rhaegar listed under House of the Noble Bear, but we may get something with the dragon kind of faction, like the sub faction.
Yeah,
that would be cool too.
I'm not gonna lie, when the reinforcements came out, I was kind of, I wouldn't say I was upset. I was kind of like, 'cause I like the way, maybe I'm just a creature of habit, so I like just the way things are. So when they came out with the Gold Knight, and then they changed or gave it a bio, and changed the faction, I was kind of like, what the hell? But then when I got it, and somebody said, well, I'm just going to put it in with the Leodicius faction with the new helmet. And I'm like, that's exactly what I'm going to do. Because at first I thought, no, I'm going to keep it with, Etheron. But I like it, reading the bios and getting into them. I'm like, those are definitely cool.
Yeah, the bios are a nice touch. I mean, obviously the reinforcements is really more kind of that customizing friendly wave. But yeah, the bios are a nice little touch. So
yeah,
I think the good thing about Mythic Legions as a whole is there's enough story there if you want to include the story in your collection and how you see your collection, but there's also enough ambiguity that you can kind of make up your own story and do your own thing,
Yeah, and I like even the Cavern Dwarf. It actually says, Cavern Dwarf 2. So it's almost like it's, because at first I wasn't going to display it. I'm like, it's the same damn figure that I already have. Just this new head. But now that I'm reading the bio and seeing that it is actually different, I'm like, I get it is different. So I'm like, I'm gonna have to display it somehow in this freaking huge Aerother faction that we have.
Yeah, that's the struggle of being a completist. You got to decide, when they put out a second version like this, are you going to display them both, or like when they put out the Bronus 2 and it's still the same Bronus, but now it's got a new head. Like, do you display both? Do you have to have 8 trolls instead of just the 4? Or,
so. Mike, I display them both with the 2 different heads. One, the 4 in here, and I got the 4 in the other room. But Mike's just puts the alternate head on a little post next to it, so you see it.
Gotcha. Yeah,
which is cool too. But yeah, being a completionist, like this Silverhorn Sentry, now necessarily that's the same damn figure. I don't necessarily have to put that figure out again if I don't want to. I felt like I could use that figure for customs or something else.
That was a cool nod to the folks that were really campaigning hard for that, and I guess
I'm glad we got it
really close in the vote. And
I'm glad.
I'll try to get a bunch of those.
Yeah,
because I saw.
I voted it because I didn't. I wasn't wanting a banana demon, but whatever.
I saw someone did a pop and swap with that, and I think it was Bardrick. I think between Bardrick and Xylernian Guard, like there's some really cool just pop and swap customs to do there to flesh out some different ranks of flock warriors.
You know,
But yeah, the
speaking of Banana Demon, I haven't really seen anybody. Maybe I haven't. I just haven't paid attention. But I haven't seen anybody use like those yellow body parts in Cosmic. I think that'd be kind of cool.
Oh, I have.
Have you?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'll have to take a look at that because I think that would be kind of cool mixing that in with something.
No doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah, the bios on this Reinforcements 2 is cool, and being that I've only been in the line for about 2 years, it's cool to get access to those, even if it's the updated version of those figures that'll be available for at a couple shows, so I can build up stuff, and like Curtis is saying, for customs. But yeah, the added bios I think are a really nice touch, because like the Gold Knight, the whole thing, how it's essentially the same figure, but now you can put it with either faction. And it's got that thing where it's their first post and their last post. Now I want to get a couple elves, the 1.0 or the 2.0 elves gold, and put like a gold helmet on them to be like a young kid, like as his first station with the Gold Knights.
Well, and that's the cool thing, even especially for the completionists. If you didn't have the Gold Knight at all, now you can just buy 2 of them, like you said, and put 1 in each faction, and you're pretty much set. If that's the case, one with this bucket helmet and 1 with the other helmet. So, and it is at that point 2 different figures, technically, I guess. So,
yeah.
So like you can actually hit 2 with 1 stone, kind of there a little bit, I guess, per se.
I mean, I'm not surprised that Jesse likes the bios with the reinforcements, because he was fighting for bios for horses, and he was pretty excited when we got that one for Bishop.
I don't know if I was fighting for it, but
the one for Bishop's cool.
Yeah, it is. It's a good bio.
Well, I mean, I'm all for like the generic. Okay, here's just a brown horse. Here's a white horse. Here's a black horse. Whatever. Like that. That's great for But like, because so many stories, these fantasy stories, like the character's horse is usually a huge part of their story. You got like Atreyu and Artax in Neverending Story.
Yeah.
You've got
don't bring Artax up, Jesse.
Childhood trauma.
I gotta go for the deep cuts. I mean, the horses usually are such an important part with fantasy stories and everything. And so I liked the little bit we got with Boreas, about him, and the little bit with Alder. But so seeing all this stuff with Bishop, and now didn't the new horse in the All-Star 6, didn't he have a bio as well?
The Templar one? Or no, it wasn't a Templar. No, yeah, it was a Templar one. I don't know if it had a bio.
I don't remember.
Sure.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say this because Joe's bringing it up. Shadowfax is not a white horse.
Okay.
That's the one thing that actually upsets, one of 2 things that upsets me in the Lord of the Rings movies.
Okay. I'm sorry that you had to deal with that.
He's gray.
Why am I having what's the guy's name from Lord of the Rings?
Gandalf.
No, the director.
Peter Jackson.
Peter Jackson. I'm like, damn you, Peter Jackson.
Yeah, Deacon does have a bio.
Okay, so, Deacon. Yeah. That's right.
Deacon.
Yeah.
Deacon Frost from Blade.
Good villain. Bad ending of the movie, but good villain.
Yeah. Hey,
didn't
that
he,
movie
explode?
Saved Marvel, damn.
Yeah, he exploded. He threw those things at him, and he blew up with blood.
Like Big Trouble in Little China.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Big Trouble in Little China.
I love that movie, but I hate that ending.
Well, now are you guys now? Jesse went to intern last year, correct? I think I seen you there. Now
both of us went intern.
Yeah, you did too. So none of you going obviously again?
I actually am going again.
Are you sure? I thought you were going. Yeah,
I was not until this past week. So, my son. So my son and my wife are going with me this year, and all 3 of us. Well, no, I didn't put in for intern, but the 2 of them did. And if one of them got it, they were going to take the other one. My son got it. He was going to take my wife. So I was just going to drop them off and then go. But I've been kind of throwing it out there. Like if anybody's got a +1, hit me up, whatever. And this past week, I don't know if he wants to mention his name, so I'll just leave it alone. But somebody reached out to me and said, hey, I've got a +1. My +1 can't make it now. Are you still interested? And I said, absolutely. So now I will be there at Intern. So it's going to be fun because I'll be able to kind of hang out with them. And I think they're really going to enjoy that experience because it's just an awesome time.
Yeah.
It really is. I know they invited me and Mike to G-Con. So, I'll get to be there for that. But dude, last year when I went to Intern as a, I guess, just a influencer, I guess I was just walking around taking pictures and posting them. And it was the best time. And it was really great to just see other people's reaction to like what I got to experience the year prior.
Yeah.
And it was just a great time, and everybody's just, happy and, in all, and they just kept every, whatever, half hour, 20 minutes, you're shifting in different groups and stuff. And it was cool just to be, a fly on the wall, walking around, kind of checking everything out and seeing everything for the second time. It was really cool.
For sure.
Anybody that's getting to do that this year, it's awesome. And you going back your second time, it's always the best the second time when you go back. Cause like I said, you really appreciate it again.
Yeah. I just, I'm excited to see my wife and son experience what I experienced.
Yes,
so I'm going
exactly.
to, as much as I'm going to enjoy seeing all the different stuff that they show you, because I went through it last year, I'm really more excited about just seeing them experience it and kind of enjoying their enjoyment.
Well, I guess, what do you think? Let's see, last Intern, it was what, Malleus was the head?
It was Malleus this past year.
Boss. So I'm curious, which was Necronominus. So I wonder if they will take something from Red Star or Noble Bear. Atlas bust or
I don't know. I mean, I think it was Belphegor was the one, right? And then you had Magnus and then Malleus. So I would say it's probably going to be another good guy if I had to guess. Maybe
if it's an Atlas or something.
Oh, if it was an Atlas one, that'd be pretty badass. Yeah.
And I would think they'd have to do somebody from Noble Bear, or I wouldn't think they would do Sons of the Red Star since they just
and a lot of the people from Noble Bear have helmets. Like I don't think they're going to do like a Calavius helmet, or a Romulus helmet.
Torgan would be cool.
Torgan would be a cool one, yeah.
If they did an Adamon, I would then have to, secretly message Joe Vassapolo and be like, you know what would be freaking really awesome?
I saw somebody sell their bust from last Intern.
Really?
And I don't remember the price they got for him, but it went pretty high if I remember right.
It's sad because I don't know if I could sell anything like that.
I definitely couldn't. Yeah.
It's because it was I didn't even
and it's got the little plaque on there that says like, the date and everything.
Personal.
And
it's very personal. I mean, it basically says on the back what date you were there and what you were doing. So, it's not like, hey, we just gave you a bus. They made it somewhat personal, and I guess if you just didn't care, but I mean, to pay that money to go there and then I don't know.
I mean, but let's say that you went to Intern. Let's say you split it with somebody, so it's 150 each, right? And then you sell your bust for 200, and you got to experience Intern and G-Con and made $50 on it. That's not a bad deal.
Unless that was the deal between two people, maybe somebody's like, hey, we'll just take it, split the money, and try to make some money back and put it towards. I mean, that could be it very as well.
Do you think this might be a wave where we see the Justin Johnson tribute show up in a wave?
No.
I kind of feel like I don't know if they're going to do that.
I don't think so either. I don't know that.
It'd be cool if they did, and if they did, awesome, you know. But
I don't know that we'll ever see that, if I'm being honest.
I'm probably with Kurt.
I know that was their initial intention, but I just don't know if we ever see that.
Yeah.
And the reason I say that is because there's like anytime it's even mentioned in the Cabal, people start saying things like, oh, well, it'd be really cool if they sold all these and then took all the money and gave it to the family or something. And it's just not logistically, it doesn't make a lot of sense. Like they've already raised a lot of money, and I'm not saying, you know, it's not worth it, but they raised a lot of money for that family, and they created this great custom. And the thing is that you have a lot of folks in this community that have also passed away from other things. And like if you set that precedent that this is what you do every time that somebody passes away in your community, it makes it very difficult to continue running your business.
Yeah, no, I agree.
So I think because of the, you know, the push from people in the community that, you know, kind of the guilt charity, I just don't know that we'll ever see that figure.
Yeah,
that's my thought.
I agree. I totally agree with you.
It was awesome. I'm glad that they did what they did. I'm glad that with the raffles, I think that all that was great. It was great to see the community respond in the way they did. If we do see that figure, I think it's going to be a modified version of it, probably. So, but if they were going to do it, I mean, because I think if I remember right, he's in Order of Aetheron. So if they were going to do it, I would think last year would have been the time to do it. So
that's why I thought last year. I swear to God, I thought we were getting a bird last year. God,
oh, I thought we were getting Aetheron 2.0.
I did too. I was like, dude, this is the time, you know.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, they were still great. I was there at the reveal. They were still awesome. But when they
the reveals were like one fire figure after another. So
yeah, when they asked me and Mike to go up, I was so in shock that somebody asked us to go up. I was like, that's really cool. You know, I didn't realize it was the last reveal.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I was still thinking there was going to be, you know, still a few more reveals left. I didn't realize that me and Mike were the last ones, and that was really cool.
I was just excited to see the two of you together because you had done a few shows. I know Mike had some stuff going on or whatever, and you had done a few shows without him. And just seeing you two together, and then when they called you guys up on stage and you get to do that last reveal, and it was really cool. It was a really cool experience.
It really was. I'd like to think Corn Boy and the Horsemen set that all up the way they did that. It was and thank you to them. Like I said, I'm assuming they knew what was going on. But at the time, but it all worked out. Mm-hmm. And that's what was cool. You know, I mean, literally, you know, it was almost like me and Mike maybe weren't on the best talking terms at that time. And it went from, hey, do you want to go up here and do a reveal? And I was thinking, yeah, sure. And I was like, I don't know. I mean, did he invite Mike? I don't know. You know, I was, you know, and then next thing you know, Mike comes around the corner. Hey, Corn Boy invited me up. I'm like, that son of a. so at that point, I knew it was somewhat, you know, there was some sort of orchestrated plan. But then when it happened, it was like, dude, wait a minute, this is the last reveal, and it's a double, and it's damn skeleton Conobus horse. Like, this is crazy. Yeah. I remember shaking the hell out of Eric at that time in Conobus, but I was in shock at that moment. Everything was coming together, and it was really cool. And it was definitely a heartfelt moment, definitely.
And then last year at the actual show, you guys were in a really busy area. Like, you're right across from the Horsemen. You got Giovanni was right next to you, right?
Giovanni was right next to us on the left. I had Immortal Collections on the right.
Yeah.
Behind me was Biblical Adventures.
And Trevor, right? He was right next to them.
And Trevor was right behind him. So, I mean, we were all kind of there in this little...
Yeah, and you had the line going by you the whole time for the Four Horsemen table.
Yes. Yeah. So, I mean, from where we were at, as soon as you came in the room, you just looked to the right, you would see us.
Yeah.
But
and then on Sunday, people would go to Giovanni's table and there was nothing left. So then they would have to go to you guys.
yeah, I mean, when you came down to the table, you know, it was. Like I said, I told him that stuff was gone. He's like, really? And I'm like, dude, your stuff's gonna be gone, bro. I was like, they just opened the doors. I go, see what's gonna happen is everyone's gonna come down the line and get their stuff with the 4 horsemen. I go, then they're just gonna go up and down these rows. I was like, by the time they come to our row, they're going to start buying your stuff. I go, so it's going to take a little bit to work up. I go, but once it works up, as the people flow through, I go, your stuff's gone. And then later on, it's like, hey, all my stuff's gone. What do I do?
Go enjoy the show.
Enjoy the show, man.
Yeah. Yeah, that's I know I didn't get a chance to really get away from the table on Saturday. So by the time I was able to, even look at anything on Sunday, all his stuff was gone.
Yeah. I was going to say, we got pictures, selfies with you. You came by the table. Yeah, his stuff was gone. I liked our location last year. I think they put us on a corner again this year. We're at table 62.
We were talking to somebody a week or two ago that was near you. I can't remember. We'd have to look at the map layout, but there was somebody near you that I was like, oh, you guys are right next to the Lair boys. So.
I know across from us is Brian from Duart.
And he'll have Big Greg with him because they're selling some of his heads.
Oh, yeah.
The Greg heads. The Groger.
The Ogre Greg heads, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm excited about it. Yeah, I am excited about LegionsCon. Like I said, it's good. It's good
this
anxiety.
Is 3 for you? Number 3?
Yes, this will be number 3.
Gotcha.
So it keeps getting bigger, and maybe that's the. It's not like it's going to be the same every year. I mean, I couldn't imagine us going back to that bingo hall.
Yeah.
Right now, because I mean we couldn't. It's not big enough. And then where we were last year, to go, wow, we have literally like quadrupled in size, and then now where we're at again. So it's really awesome to see where this is going.
It just keeps growing.
And it does, like I said, it's also about the people too. I know that sounds cliche, but I go, I look forward to obviously people coming by the table and saying hi, but it's also at nighttime hanging out with everybody. And, if I get to eat a meal with somebody, that I've never, had a meal with before in the Cabal,
Right.
Saturday was cool because I think we ate at the Bonefish with, there was a whole bunch of people I'd never even met before, but they were there and it was cool. So it was a good time.
Yeah, I don't think, I mean, during obviously intern and G-Con, I had to leave the hotel last year, but other than that, I don't think I drove anywhere. Like we just kind of stayed in the lobby and either walked and got something or drove some or just had something ordered in. So
the only time I think I left was I left to go to intern, and then I left to go to G-Con, and then
well, this year we won't have to leave for G-Con. It'll be right there.
Yeah, so I go. That'll definitely help out quite a bit. So yeah, it's a good time.
So you're at table 66. You're
66.
You're right across from Duart. Brian Almeida, his tables, and the other direction, Leland is across from you.
Gotcha. Yes.
So yeah, you've got Noble Bear and Sparrow, Carver Customs, Art G's there. Yeah, you got. Brian. I mean, there's not a bad spot in this show.
No.
I mean, it's just fire after fire. Until you get to the hallway section, and you got like the Legends of Grayskull, and that's going to be like
Yeah, actually, Dave said that. Yeah, I think Dave Orkin was actually one of the people at Bonefish that I was eating with. I knew Dave. I knew who Dave was, but there were some other people down the other side that I had no idea who they were. But
Brad's like, "Who are you people? You're not up to my level."
Well, you know what the thing was is these people, these guys, they were hammered.
Oh yeah,
they were hammered, and I didn't even know they were part of our group. I had no idea they were part of our group, but they were standing in front of like me, Walter, Dave. There was a whole group of us.
Yeah.
And I just thought there were some drunk dudes at the Bonefish in front of Walter, and I didn't know they actually walked with us. And they were just hammered drunk, and it was Jimmy and Jamie. And actually, Jamie and Jay were really cool. It was Jimmy that was really hammered drunk, and it was funny because we seen Jimmy the next day, and he's like, "Hey, how's it going, guys?" But the night before, he was like, "What's that?"
Apparently, you forgot somebody. So
yeah, he was he was a little intoxicated, but we had a good time.
Well, that's good. That's all that matters.
Yes, Steph was there too. Obviously, Steph was there. Yes, Jimmy was wasted. Jimmy was wasted was an understatement.
Yeah.
I felt bad because I felt like Walter was, obviously we were going to these things and Walter was, he was buying some meals and I felt like, I didn't want him to pay for any more meals because I felt like he just kept paying for stuff. So at that point, I told the waitress, I said, just give me his check, Walter's check. I go, and she goes, well, I can only split the bill up into 3 different ways. And I go, well, just give me one. I'll pay for one, and that'll be Walter, me, and whatever. But when it came, I think the bill was like $170, and I was like, oh.
Yeah.
And then my friend, Christopher Michael Olsen was with me. He goes, "Are you paying that?" And I was like, "I am," because I just don't want him to pay. I felt like let's Let's treat Walter a little bit because he's treated people like 3 nights.
Yeah. But I was I was planning on getting pizza again this year for G-Con because I did that last year for G-Con.
Yes.
And I was going to do that again, but they're not at the studio; they're at the hotel. So because I was like, they everybody's here, nobody's going to want to leave and get lunch. They're just doing reveal after reveal, and all of them were awesome.
Oh yeah.
I'm just going to bounce next door and grab some of this. I got Billy Bache to help me bring them in and stuff.
You actually did what me and Mike and Big Greg did the year before.
Yeah.
Because they invited us back. It was the first year they did that, and we were starving.
Oh yeah, you get about midday there, and it's man,
you get hungry. And Greg goes, "Well, let's order some pizzas." And me and Mike are like, "Well, here's the money." And Greg's like, "I'll order it and go get it." And we're like, "Awesome! Here's the money. You go get it." And of course, Greg being from New Jersey, you got to have Greg order the pizza. That's why I said, have Greg order the pizza.
No, he probably went somewhere else. I just went to that one that's right next door, by the Dunkin' Donuts. Greg probably drove 20 minutes away to get some, brick oven something.
He didn't drive too far, but whatever it was, I listened to him order the pizza, and he's like, "Yeah, and I want the pizza extra crispy, crispy."
Yeah, you got to get it dark. He gets it almost completely charred.
Yeah, and I'm like, okay, one bite, everybody knows the rule.
I didn't know there was pizza at G-Con until I walked out and there was a box with a chewed up piece of crust in it. I had no idea there was food. I was that enthralled with the reveals.
They were great last year, man.
Then they're like, "Oh, there's an ice cream truck outside." I'm like, "Well, freaking ice cream truck." I'm like, "Who brought this guy?" It was cool.
Joe H asked real quick. I want to hit this real quick. I was up with Jeremy from My Wife Is Going to Kill Me, and we got to be there for the reveal of Maxilius the Harvester. So that's what I got to be there for. Same thing. I was just sitting there, and I feel this tap on my shoulder, and I was like, "Who?" I turn around, and it's Corn Boy, and he's like, "Hey, you're going to go up with Jeremy in a little bit, so just pay attention, and go out." I was like, "Me? What?" And he's like, "Yeah,
you got the right person."
I was like, "Okay." So yeah, I was great.
Jeremy was funny last
Cookie's
year. Yeah. Hey, happy birthday, Cookie. So Jeremy was funny last year because I was talking to him one time, and he was feeling pretty good. Jeremy DeWitt was feeling pretty good. And he came up to me and he's like, "Hey man, I don't even know what I'm saying right now." I was like, "Okay, sounds good." He's like, "Yeah, I'm just talking, but I don't even know what the words are." Okay.
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously, there's crazy things that can happen in the lobby, so you gotta watch out. Yeah, especially if Greg's around, he'll invite you outside.
Now, Greg did say he just went next door, but he got it well done, so he didn't drive too far away, I guess.
Okay, so it was next door. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's what he says. Yeah, you got to get it well done, extra crispy.
Yeah, that East Coast pizza, man.
It was good.
Man, it's good.
It was good. I will
Yeah.
say, and I liked it crispy like that too. I was like, man, it was.
Yeah, I'm not a crispy guy, but I do like the East Coast pizza, man. It's just
I like it crispy when it's the Chicago style, like the flat square cut. Like I like that crispy. But like, yeah,
I was over there folding the pizza, like, yeah, we got the Jersey fold over here, baby.
Yeah, exactly. You got to fold it in half. That's what I'm talking about.
Fold, baby. It was a good time. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
Shit, I might even have Greg order us another pizza. I'm like, I want it from the same damn place next to the studio. Bring it over.
Yeah, bring it over to GCon.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Anything that you're looking forward to purchasing or picking up at LegionsCon? That I know, everybody says that they're looking forward to seeing everybody and all that kind of stuff, but anything you're looking to bring home with you?
I mean, obviously the exclusives.
The exclusives, yeah.
I mean, obviously I got it, the 2 Walter figures, Vorgus version 2. I'm excited. There's a couple customizers. I know I got to get to their tables and pick some stuff up. I'm not going to say who because I don't want to give up my
your strategy. You don't want people beating you to the table. That's cool.
I don't want you going there first.
I'll tell you the two that I'm going to like right away. I'm going to Shaw's table to get a double stable, and I'm going to Trevor's table to get a calendar. Like those are
gotta get a calendar.
Those are my 2 things that I'm like, I gotta come away with those. So
I may even get another coloring book if they're out there.
Coloring book's cool.
From Dusty.
My daughter stole my coloring book, and she started on a picture. I think she was coloring Arethyr, and she just has had it for like the last 2 weeks or 3 weeks, and she has it's up in her room. I'm like, you got to give that back, right? She's like, yeah, I'm not done with it yet. I'm like, okay, well, how long does it take to color one picture?
Yeah, no.
Until it's done.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, last year I was actually looking for the 2 final 7 Kingdom figures, which I did get.
Yeah. And now you're like, get rid of them.
Well, now I'm like, dude, I'm running. Like, they take up a lot of shelving.
Yeah. Were they still in box?
I still have the boxes for them, yes.
Okay, gotcha.
I displayed them. I repackaged them all up like new. But yeah, I really like them. But I'm hoping that when Matt Rod gets his Armies of Ashmore figures, I'm thinking I'm going to have to put those figures because they're big and bulky, like some of those 7 Kingdom figures. I think I'll just replace those in that spot. Like I said, I'm running out of room. They're like, to get more cabinets. I'm like,
thanks, Trevor.
Me too, Trevor.
Yeah. I'm excited to see what Trevor has in his calendar, and I don't know that it's going to be there, but I would be really excited to see the Mythvengers that he got from Emil in there. That would be cool.
Did you see, he posted today.
Oh, did he?
He posted. It was yesterday or today. I saw the official. So I wasn't going to get excited until I saw him officially say he was going to have one.
Yeah.
So there's a couple shots in there, not all.
A couple shot. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he didn't say he was going to save me and Jesse one, but that's okay. That's all right.
I mean, he can't save one for everybody. It's
just save it for Curtis.
Yeah. Trevor and we have a love-hate relationship. I love Trevor and he hates me. So
Trevor. Trevor, but it's Trevor. Mystery shot. No, we love Trevor. Trevor's a good dude.
Yeah.
He does take magnificent photos. Once again, if you go to intern, you're going to get to see this guy taking some chic photos. You have to box up the flag.
I'll be seeing him at intern now that I get to go. So
yeah.
I won't have to hold his film. I offered to hold his film or do whatever it is that he does to help him out in order to get in the door. But now I'm going to be there as an intern. I'll give him some shit.
You know how happy Lauren would be if I sold my flag behind me?
Oh, she'd probably be ecstatic.
Oh
When's she coming to LegionsCon? When's she going to represent the Legions ladies?
I told her PowerCon would have been the time to come see everybody. You know, I go, you know, that's our hometown, or not hometown, but home state. And she actually thought about it, but we have obviously cats and dogs. I know we have people that would watch them.
I don't hate Frazetta. I just don't. I'm not infatuated with him, but yeah, I think it'd be cool if she had had that table at LegionsCon. Would be cool, a little representation, and
she definitely
maybe even recruit some people. See some ladies walking by. Hey, by the way, are you a Legion lady already?
It was funny because Corn Boy came up to the table, and he had, I assume it's his girlfriend. And he goes, this lady here wants to be a part of the Legions ladies. And I was just like, oh, okay. He goes, sign her up right now. And I'm like, I'm getting on it, sir. Lauren, I'm sending you a link of this woman's Facebook. She must be approved immediately. I did this all in front of Corn Boy, and then I'm like, now, sir, I'm doing this. And I pulled out, that's when I pulled out the figure of the Corn Boy figure and had him sign in.
And then the lady takes off a wig and it's Van Johnson. You're like, no!
And Van looks like
I thought you were going to say it was a stalk of an ear of corn.
No.
Yeah, and I handed him the figure, and he just starts reading the bio, and I'm like, dude, what the get record. Like, I didn't know you were gonna read your own bio, dude. That's really cool.
That's awesome.
Is that the one that had his real hair in it? No, I know that was just a prototype.
Well, yeah. But, I think I have.
How weird would that have been if someone like sent out toys that had like their own hair on like 1,000 mass-produced toys?
What he should have done is made like 12 of them with his real hair.
You'll never know.
Just a dozen of
variants, and you don't know if you get it or not.
Well, I would put like a special little sticker, special little notation somewhere on his butt or something.
I got the Corn Boy one, and I got the Bill Mancuso one, but I heard there's a Jim one.
There is a Jim one, and I guess it's hard to get. But I did get the Eric one, the play set.
Mm-hmm.
So I was gonna bring it with me and have him sign it. Mike got one too.
That's cool.
So we'll have him sign. It does that one really looks like Eric.
Oh yeah.
The Dr. Frankenstein one. I go, if you actually look at that figure, I go, hey, yeah, it definitely looks like Eric Treadway.
Someone just had that up for trade or sale in one of the groups.
They did. I seen that, and I was thinking, I almost thought about it because that box was actually nicer than mine.
Oh yeah.
I got a really good deal on mine, so I can't complain.
Trying to upgrade the box, huh?
I was thinking that would be nice to have a nicer box.
I picked up a couple Wetworks figures that they did. And it was cool because it was the street team. So Joe Vasapolo was there, and he was like, I was like, I know they did some of these. I don't know which ones. I'll look up on the list. And Joe was saying he was when he was cleaning stuff up one day, one of the things, early days working there or something, he found like a stack of drawings, and some of it was like the full like blown up detail of like the leg armature of like the vampire from the Wetworks figures. Like, it wasn't just the skill, like he was like figuring out how it all worked. So it wasn't just like, okay, here's this round conical thing. Like he had all the details figured out and everything. So the boxes are pretty beat up, but I'm debating if I'm gonna have them sign or just keep them, open them up.
I mean, I guess we could have had Bill even sign the unknown one or unconed one. I mean, because technically, I didn't even think about that because Mike's like, I should have had Bill sign that, and I was like, wow, oh yeah. I was like, damn. I was like, it made Bill's day. I know it made his day when I asked him to sign that because he was like, what? And I was like, yeah, I got your figure down here, and he was like, are you serious?
I would have
sign this, and I was like, hell yeah, dude.
I would have Walter sign his 2-pack for this year, but I'm gonna get rid of the skeleton and get another one of the orange guys. I'm gonna hand the box to Walter, and it's gonna have 2 of the orange ones in there. And he's going, "What the hell is this?" It's a rare double orange one.
Just get a shirt or something, or hold the calendar. Just hold the calendar over the side with the skeleton in it, and have him sign the other side.
I kind of feel bad for Walter, and I just now thought of this now that you said that, because he's always a busy person during these cons.
Yeah,
I mean, but now that he has his own figure, everyone's going to get their stuff signed. I mean,
Oh
you
yeah,
would
I
think
mean
everybody's going to want to go up to Walter and get their stuff signed. So, I
the
mean, he's
my
going to
wife
be
is gonna
signing.
kill me, guys. Like I was at the table with Steven last year, and those guys were getting hit up by for
Yep.
signatures the whole time. And so
I
yeah, I
felt
mean, as
bad.
much as Walter gets hit up anyways from everybody, it's gonna be ridiculous this year.
I felt bad even going up to I was smart. I went up to Travis.
Yeah.
And I was like, Trev dog, baby. And I'm like, sign it now, bro.
Nice.
And then obviously he signs it and then goes and gets it. Everyone does their thing.
Well, I got them to sign that the Furious 4 box, and then I got that print from Trevor where they're sitting around the table and had them sign that. That print was so good.
I love that.
Man, when they revealed those figures and they showed that picture from Trevor where it's sitting around the table, and then you look at the table and you see all the little things that he included in there, it's like that was just a work of art.
Yeah.
Cool.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I'm
like Walter, he's got his own Cabal table this year.
Oh, does he?
It's off in the other room, right?
It's like the very front. It's like two tables right inside the door of the second room.
Is he going to be manning it, or is somebody else watching it for him? Oh,
saying there is one there for the Cabal.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Now, did someone say that there'll be food at this place?
I don't know. I know there's the pub, but I don't know if they've got food or not.
I looked. I did not see anything about continental breakfast, and I know they cannot do. They wanted to have like food trucks, but they can't do that in the parking lot or something.
Gotcha.
So
somebody said something like they thought they had like maybe kind of like a restaurant. Because I know
there's the bar. There's the bar.
Gotcha. Because like
I think that's the restaurant.
The hotel at MesquiteCon had like a bar, and then it had like a little restaurant type area.
Yeah,
which was kind of cool. But I guess there's a lot of us. We could.
Yeah, I don't think the Irish pub is going to sustain everybody.
No, that lobby, every room that is available will be taken up with people just hanging out all night. So.
Oh yeah, I mean, literally. Like I said, Greg left.
Yeah, that's true.
Greg walks out, and I knew where Greg was going, so I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go with Greg. and he goes, no, I'm going to my house. And I was like, even better, I get to see Greg's collection. And I look at my phone, and it said like 11:20 or 11, and I'm thinking, all right, it's 11 o'clock. By the time we get to Greg's and see us, I'm like, it's going to be late. And I already knew this. I'm like, it's going to be late by the time I come back. But I was like, this is a one-time opportunity to see Greg's stuff. So I went, and I don't think Greg dropped me off back in the lobby. It was close to like 2 a.m.
Oh, wow.
And there's still everybody in the lobby. There's still so many people in the lobby.
Yeah.
Picking it in the line. There's still a line. People are sleeping out in the hallway in the line, to get to the Horseman table. And I was like, this is crazy. And I was about to go live, but I was like, man, I just got to go back upstairs.
That's awesome. One more question for you. I know at one point you guys did a street team for the Horsemen.
Yeah.
Any other, have you, I mean, I don't know if you can talk about it or not, but any other plans to do something like that, like for your guys' area, for any shows?
I mean, we would love to do another street team. This year was even kind of cool. I didn't post the Cleveland Gaming Classic that we did again this year, but then it was this year was two days instead of one.
Oh, nice.
And now this time they had the whole, because last year they had half of the upstairs and all of the downstairs were this convention area. Where now it was the whole top area. It's the IX Center up in Cleveland. And it's huge. I mean, it's a big place. And because last year they had food trucks inside the place. So the other half was kind of like food trucks, where now they kind of, the way they orchestrate it. But I was at PowerCon, and I seen the line that people were waiting to go into PowerCon. And then when the doors opened, everybody goes over to the line to the horseman. They're running to the horseman, and like nobody's really going to the
Anywhere
con.
else. Yeah.
And so at Cleveland Gaming Classic, I noticed this line is huge, and I'm like, whoa! And I'm looking at Mike. I'm like, dude, what if they all were mythic people like at PowerCon? Like like, what if they're gonna come to our table and like we're gonna sell out in like an hour? Like this is gonna be crazy.
Yeah.
And the doors open, and dude, they're coming down the elevator just packed. And I'm just like, oh my God, here they come. And then these people just run past us. And I'm like, where the hell are these people going? And they were literally going to their arcades. I mean, these people were dead serious about their video games.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, I was blown away. Obviously, we had a line, but I was thinking like, dude,
Yeah,
this could be like crazy. We still sold a lot. I think we had 20 cases. And I think we sent back like a case.
wow.
So
yeah,
we ended up selling like 19 cases, and it was quite a bit. And at that time, I think Alithia was what we had. So Alithia wave had just come out, and they only sent half of the wave. They didn't send. They sent the regular figures, not like the horse or the centaur or any of that. But those went quick. Templars went quick. It was actually tougher. I told Mike, I go, if we ever did another street team, I would love to do a more action figure type based toy con. There were still toys there, but I mean, it was really video games.
Yeah.
It was like dead set. The whole back wall is nothing but pinballs. There's like 80s arcades everywhere, and there's like 80s and 90s TVs set up everywhere with real live game consoles set up with, and they put zip ties around the game so nobody could steal it, so
yeah.
Basically you would walk up to this television and it was like Final Fight on Super Nintendo or something, and people are waiting in line to play Final Fight for
That's
Super
awesome.
Nintendo, on this freaking boob tube, this old like 89 boob tube. It was cool,
Yeah, I mean, I was, Carver Customs saying you should do a street team at Columbus Toy Show next year. I mean, there is, because Val came out and confirmed that there is no PowerCon 2024.
Yeah.
So with that, I mean, there's going to be kind of that time in the summer next year where people would have planned to go to PowerCon that now, maybe there's an opportunity for something else. If you guys can throw something together in Ohio, might be worthwhile.
Oh, we would love to. It's funny because afterwards I was upset because the whole goal was to sell these figures, and I wanted to sell out. I mean, that was my whole goal, was to sell out. I didn't.
Yeah.
I felt embarrassed sending them back a case of figures. And actually what we sent them back was Mephators, Bryophytuses, and some
Of
Doritos.
course. Nobody
which
wants
aren't the most popular figures, maybe a couple Goblin Legion builders or something. But we got rid of quite a bit, and I was kind of down on myself because I was like, dude, I just wanted to sell out. I was like, you're probably hating me and Mike now because we didn't sell all these figures.
Sure they were ecstatic.
And when I showed up at LegionsCon last year, I was kind of like, I was that intern, like walking by Jeremy, like, oh, he's probably mad because we didn't sell out, And then when I talked to Eric at the thing, he was like, dude, we are so happy what you guys did. He goes, because we kind of threw you into a foreign place where people weren't familiar with Mythic Legions. And I'm like, dude,
we
talked about I told him, like, it's funny
there's
you say
shows
that
are very mythic, and then there's shows that are kind of educating people on Mythic, and that sounds like one of those. Yeah,
that's exactly what me and Mike did. We were preaching the gospel of Mythic Legions, and it was literally from 9 a.m. until 9 o'clock at night. So for 12 hours straight, me and Mike.
Have you heard of Bashti, your Lord and Savior?
Dude, I mean, and this is no joke. Somebody would walk up and be like, "The hell's this?" Like, they have no clue, not a clue what the hell it was. Like, what the hell is this? And they'd grab a Templar. What is this? What or they grab a Black Knight. What the hell is this? So I'm like, all right, here's the spiel. I grabbed the Mythic comic book Bible.
Yeah.
And we would just go to town. And the next day, me and Mike couldn't talk. We're like, yeah, we preach the word so much that we don't know how to talk. And
you guys
and
are
I told
blessing
Eric
people.
I told Eric that. I said, dude, now that you say that, I go, we were in like the freaking wolf's den, man. Because I go, like, it wasn't like, oh, hey, Mythics, we're all, I gotta buy these. I mean, there was only a handful of those type people. It was all just literally, what the hell is this?
Yeah.
It was just like LegionsCon. They just come in a row. They just keep coming down the table. You know, next person. As soon as you give the spiel, he walks away, or he might buy one, and then there was another guy.
Yeah.
What the hell is this? And you're like, well.
I gave Robo some shit from Fwoosh because he did like a PowerCon review kind of thing, and he was going through all this stuff, and he never once mentioned Mythic Legions. And I'm like, I comment in there. I'm like, how do you not mention Mythic Legions in a PowerCon review? He's like, well, I just don't really collect that line. I'm like, I get it, but you saw how crazy their table is and how people line up for it. You would think as a toy reviewer, if you're going to review that convention, you got to at least mention their name and mention how popular it was. You know,
I totally agree with you there, Curtis.
I gave him shit for that one. He's like, well, I just don't talk about stuff I don't collect. I'm like, okay, I get it, but
there was a lot of people in line who might watch your show who might want to watch it because you went past that. So, yeah, it's all right.
Especially with the display that they had up, and they revealed a new wave, a new cosmic wave. Like you would think that would be toy news. Like out of all the tables there, they're the ones that revealed a whole new wave live, and like you don't even talk about it. Like, okay, all right.
Yeah, I mean,
whatever.
Robo is still.
You know.
No, that's funny though. No, I had a great time at PowerCon. Yeah, I am upset that it's not going to be back next year. But like, hopefully, like they said, he's done this before. Hopefully, it'll be bigger and better. I don't see how, but
we'll see. But I think 2024, because there's that opening in the summer, and because people are used to going to Ohio, you and Brad got to figure something, or you and Michael got to figure something out.
Listening, Jeremy.
Yeah, figure something out. Some convention where people can gather up in Ohio and get some mythics.
I think if he sent 20 cases and we went to a place where people are known to buy toys, they would sell out within an hour. It would be, because I want to say the first year they brought like 100 cases last year to PowerCon and they sold out.
Yeah.
You know, they're like, damn, we brought 100 cases and we sold out. They were having to like limit people every day so they could have figures for Saturday and Sunday. And then obviously this year they were like, well, we brought 2 truckloads this time, you know.
Pull up this from Trevor. He says he's talking about Robo. He said he'll do Figura though. I've seen him talk about some Figura, but like Red Death came out, nothing. Got nothing from Robo. So I don't know, man. He's got his stuff that he likes, and that's cool. Whatever, you know. I was just surprised, because I've not been to PowerCon, but everything I hear from everybody from last year and this year is the biggest draw at PowerCon is the 4 Horsemen. Like that is what, you know, most of the people that are there are for that table. Yeah. And so you're thinking, if you do a review of that, especially if they reveal a new wave, you would think that would even at least deserve a mention. If you're doing a 30-minute weekly show, you'd think that you could take 30 seconds to mention you know, 4 Horsemen. But
I'm gonna say this: there's a lot of stuff we don't talk about.
I understand, but we're not doing. He's doing a toy review show of like all these different lines, and then he's talking specifically about one convention, and that one convention, the biggest turnout is for that table, and you don't even mention it. I don't know, just kind of weird, but whatever.
I agree.
Anywho. So, yeah, we'll look forward to finding something to go visit Ohio, because Ohio is a great state, right? We need to find a way to get to Ohio.
The PowerCon to me is like the pregame to LegionsCon. It was, majority of the same people that you'll see are there. The atmosphere. I love the convention itself, just like where it's at. And like even this year with the weird anime con that was going on, the Matsuri con,
Yeah.
It was cool because we get along with those people, so it wasn't like we had an issue with those type of people. But it was cool that they had us outnumbered for sure. They had us outnumbered for sure. But it was cool to have two different cons going on and getting to see that. I thought was cool. I was like, dude,
it's when you have that kind of stuff and you've got like the toy guys and you've got like the cosplay people.
Yeah.
I wonder which group is looking at the other one the most and going, man, they're weird. like they're probably like everybody.
It was them looking at us that way.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
Like, why aren't you dressed up, you weirdo? And it's like,
Yeah.
why aren't you just here normal looking for figures? Yeah.
Why
is that 44-year-old man playing with toys on the floor?
So that's what I'm going to say. If anybody asks me where my cosplay at, I'm going to say I'm dressed up as one of those street humans from the Kickstarter.
I thought last year, the PowerCon cosplay contest, I thought it was better last year, actually.
Yeah.
Because me and Mike did the line, and I was thinking, dude, there were some serious costumes. There was only a couple I felt like this year that were like, and it was cool that Carlos kids won the kid won. The kid contest for.
Well, they had the Simple Tricks and Nonsense, and Rebecca. They did that the Skeleton Legion Builder and the Goblin Legion Builder.
Well,
they're going to be at LegionsCon, and I don't know what they're bringing. I think my wife said she saw some costume that they were making the other day, but they're going to be bringing something, so that'll be interesting.
Yeah.
So,
I think Paul Sutt's wife dressed up as Thrace from the Poxith Wave. Yeah. And so cool. It's cool to see. I've seen somebody on the cabal asking, "Are people going to dress up?" I encourage it if you want to. I'd like to see more people dressed up like actual mythic figures.
Yeah. 2 years ago, the first one I went to, the one at ToyCon, the Sunday show, someone was there was a lady dressed up as Artemis.
Yeah, there was. I don't know who that was, but she was okay. She was good.
Yeah, it was. I was like, I don't know who that character is, but I know that's one of the Mythic Legions figures.
I know Maverick is going to be bringing his Aerother mask. I don't know if he's going to go full cosplay, but he'll at least have that on. It's cool. Well, it's going to be a lot of fun. So
yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Like I said, just planning things out and looking forward to seeing everybody and even the new people. Somebody that I don't know, get to talk to and chit chat.
Less than 3 weeks away.
It's crazy.
It's almost here.
Crazy.
But there is a big event. Well, I mean, not event, but there's a big special thing before LegionsCon.
There might be. That's
50th episode of Legions Lair. That was from a while ago. I don't know if he's still on, but I wanted to make sure I started this to make sure we brought this up before we wrapped up. So
that's the Tuesday before LegionsCon, right? So that's so is this like the road, like the week of LegionsCon? If you talk about Mythic Week, is that the start of Mythic Week?
I think it is Tuesday. Yeah, I don't know if the Lounge has a show on Monday, so maybe.
Yeah, I mean nobody watches that show anyway.
But nobody. Yeah, I was about to say nobody watches that show. So yeah, I think Tuesday at 7. We're not going to have any guests on. Me and Mike are just going to talk about LegionsCon, and we're people have been sending me videos for.
You guys going to wax nostalgia about like your time together and stuff?
Yeah, so we're going to reminisce and
that'd be awesome.
Some videos and talk it up and talk about. What's funny is Mike will be here Tuesday after work for the show.
You know what you should do? You should get a clip of like all your knightings over the last 2 years.
I actually thought about that, Curtis.
Yeah.
Colin, because I know both of you guys have been on the show. Yeah. Curtis, I think you were one of the first. Well, one of the,
it was pretty early on.
Yeah, pretty early on. And Colin was even on pretty early, I feel like, and he must have commented or tagged himself to show somebody that he was on our show, and then I noticed it started popping up in the feed in the Cabal, and somebody must have thought it was newer because they were commenting on it, like, "Hey guys, how's it going?" And I'm like, looking at it going, dude, we've come a long way.
Yeah.
For me and Mike not even knowing how to
Well,
find Facebook Live.
Yeah, that StreamYard is so like the early ones. There were some technical difficulties, that's for sure. But yeah, you guys are rolling with the StreamYard now. So
you know what? Like I think it was even you that commented a couple times that said that's kind of the show. And I tried to tell Mike that. I'm like, I think people actually watch, not they like us, but I go they want to see us mess up.
I remember the one time you went live, but you went live on just your Facebook. And so it was like me and like 3 other people watching. You're like, where is everybody? And then Lauren had to eventually say, you're not in the cabal, right?
That happened a couple of times. And one time because Lauren was the one that usually set it up at first.
Yeah.
And she did it. And I'm like, how the hell did you do that? So the next week she goes, I'm going to show you. Look, I'm doing it. I'm going into the cabal. I'm doing this. I'm doing this. And the same thing. Somehow I watched her click into the cabal.
Right.
We went live. It went to normal Facebook.
That's funny.
And I'm like, how? And here we come to find out is she was doing some shortcut.
Oh, gotcha.
And the shortcut wasn't allowing her to recognize it. So I go, okay, you actually have to click on the cabal. You have to, don't shortcut in there. Click on the cabal. And so we figured that out. But yeah, when we went to StreamYard, Lauren was the one navigating it at first.
Yeah. And
she's in the other room. And that's kind of what became me and Mike's problem at that time because Lauren would sometimes we'd have a 3-hour show and it's like Lauren likes the show, but it's like it's not Lauren's show. She's just trying to help us out.
Mm-hmm.
And but me and Mike are like, well, we don't know how to do StreamYard.
Yeah.
So Lauren had to sit me down for like a weekend and kind of just teach me a little bit of ropes. And I'm still learning.
You're a lot better at it now. Like you'll have people on there and then you'll do it to where you embiggen them, but you don't remove your guys' selves so you can still hear you guys.
Yes.
Yeah, you're getting a lot better at it for sure.
Yeah, like I said, I go and even learning.
Something about old dogs and new tricks. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, even you helped me that one time. You're like, hit the little box. So,
yeah.
Because I was just removing myself, but then you couldn't hear me.
Right.
And I think, well, you got to hit this little box. And then, so there are a few little tricks. But people don't realize that, like, it is, you're like an executive producer, you're you're doing it and you want to, entertain the guest or not take away from it. And that's why it's nice having Mike, because sometimes Mike can ask the questions and then I can scan this.
Oh yeah. You're trying to keep up with the comments and the guest. And yeah,
even when Mike called me the few times cause he's been working a lot. He's like, I can't be at the show. And I'm like, oh, dude. I'm like, it's okay. I'm like, it's all good. I'm like, I'll do it. Like Trevor, he couldn't be here for the Trevor one. He was real upset. So I go, boy, it is a lot of work. Because I go, it's like, you're trying to ask the questions. You're trying to read the comments.
Did you start the one with your kid? Like it was you and your kid to start off?
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did.
That was cool.
He does that. He likes mythics.
Yeah.
He really enjoyed that too. He got a kick out of. He thought he was all special. He thought his dad's like real important. He's like, Dad, people watch you, Dad. Yeah. I'm like, I have no idea why they watch me, but it's terrible.
Well, we're a little over 2 hours. Probably be wrapping this up at some point soon. But I did want to ask you about one more thing. There's a certain contest that's coming up at LegionsCon.
Man.
And it's you guys versus the Lounge versus the Euro Legions. And listen, I've listened to some of the Euro Legions podcasts, and those guys really know their lore. How are you guys feeling? You guys been studying, or what's the deal?
I've actually been reading more bios lately, but I will say, me and Mike.
Mm-hmm.
We're just recently on Euro Legions, and that episode should be coming out maybe I think this Friday.
Okay.
I think this Friday the episode will come out. I don't think he asked. I don't know. Did he ask those? I think he did ask some questions while we were live about certain lores.
Yeah.
And man, Mike was freaking on it, dude.
Really?
And I think they were shaking in their boots a little bit.
All right. So they're not going to run away with this thing.
Really
you
hard
guys are going to
questions
put up a
where
fight,
I didn't know. I had no idea the name. And Mike's just like, whatever. I don't even remember what it was. And Mike's like, yeah, it's this. And I'm like, holy crap! Like Mike knew that. And they were like, oh boy. How does Mike know that? And I'm like, yes, Mike.
You're like the other like white guys on the team that like on Teen Wolf when he's like slam dunking and everything, and you're just like you're there collecting the wins and you're not even touching the ball. You're like Mike's just gonna do it all.
I'm like the coach on that team, just over there counting the money.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I'm gonna be the biggest cheerleader because I'm just gonna let Mike go at it.
Yeah.
Seriously.
They're gonna ask a question. You're gonna be rubbing Mike's shoulders. You got it, man. Come on.
I told him, I said, let me hit the buzzer because I'll just hit the buzzer and go, Mike, answer. I'll do business. Mike, go. You know it, right? I know you know it. Damn it. Good. No, Mike's pretty damn good. Y'all are still going. Hype to see everyone like this guy.
So super chat from Jacob Forna. Thank you, sir.
Awesome. Jacob's a good dude.
Money's on the lair. Okay, you got one voting for you already.
Yeah, right. Mike, that's awesome. And Jacob was at the LegionsCon last year representing the Legions Lair shirt.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't be too worried about the lounge guys. I mean, I love those guys, but I don't see them being like too big on the lore. But those Euro Legions guys,
I will say it. They are. Yeah. They do know their stuff, but
they're studious.
They asked me and Mike 3 questions, and the first one, me and Mike were like, "What the hell?" Or actually, the question I can't remember the question they asked us, and it was something about the alphabetical checklist. And I'm like, "Who the hell would know that? Who would know the alphabetical?
Well,
who's number 7 on the alphabetical checklist?" And we're like,
"Oh, come on now.
Those aren't dude." Those questions are bogus.
Mike almost got it. Mike almost got it because Mike's like, well, there's a Asterion, there's a Aethon. I mean, he was going down the list real quick, and he was like, and I guarantee you it's probably this. And whatever he said, he goes, you were one away from getting it.
That's funny.
But the other 2 questions that Mike answered, he knew them like that. And they're
the other thing is that it's Pete McCarthy putting the questions together, so you never know. Like, I don't know it's going to be like straight up lore, you know.
I mean, I would be cool if they're super easy, like, who is Atlas's brother? And I'd be like, I know this one.
Yeah.
I'd hit it real quick.
Good stuff.
I can't stand those types of questions that are like tiebreaker questions, like which one's like 7th down alphabetically or this.
Yeah.
I used to play, what was that DVD game for movies? Seen It.
Oh yeah.
And it would literally be me versus like 7 other people. Like they'd be on a team together and I would be by myself. And I always won until it came down to a stupid tiebreaker where it'd be like, whose birthday is next? Who has the largest shoe size or stuff like that? I'm like, that has nothing to do. So I always started prompting. I was like, all right, if we come down to a tiebreaker, we do a game question, not we do one of the things from the game that's about movies. We don't do whose shoe size is bigger or smaller or whatever. Like that's bogus.
I want to pull this comment up from our patron, Joe Gonzalez. They didn't invite the real lore pros. Joe, I assume that you're talking about me and Jesse, and I will tell you, I don't know about Jesse, but I don't know shit. So I can tell you right now, Michael and the Euro guys would definitely beat me in any lore for sure.
Who was it that won last year? Didn't somebody win something last year?
Well, they did a head-to-head. The My Wife Was Gonna Kill Me guys did a head-to-head with 2 people, and it came down to it was Anthony Alciel and Sean Scavarna.
Sean Scavarna, that's who it was.
Yeah.
And then like shirt came off and truffles were shuffled.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sean knows his stuff. If they brought,
well, they had Cornboy in there too, and it was funny because Cornboy
he
was missing a bunch of them.
Yeah, he didn't know some stuff, is what from people were saying. So I go, you know, if they brought other people in, I guess it would make it, you know, harder.
Yeah,
and maybe this will if Mike blows them out, they'll maybe think about it. But I really think after they ask us those questions, they are studying harder, so they might actually bring it. You know, because I think
there needs to be like some sort of belt or something that whatever team wins, that for the next year you guys can every episode just like, hold up the belt like, number one Legions podcast or something.
I like it.
Oh,
If we win, Mike's gonna rub every 2 weeks. Mike's gonna. That's the first thing Mike's gonna say.
Yeah.
Well, on today's episode of Legions Lair,
he's gonna say "Go Buckeyes," and then he's gonna
winning bioist reading. He'll turn it into something.
Yeah. We'll see. It's gonna be fun. So.
Stephanie Ork says the Lauren fix. God forbid though. You know what, Stephanie? We could bring a girl on the lair. There's nothing wrong with that.
You throw in some Legion ladies episodes.
We have had. I mean, I guess we've had Ryan and Amber. So I mean, Amber was on.
Yep.
Dusty was on. His wife came out for a little bit and BS'd. So I mean, we don't discriminate. But hey, maybe we could have Dave and Stephanie come on.
Who was the one guy that you had? It was. I think he's from England.
Oh my God!
Someone in Europe. The guy that
talking about Dennis Dukakis.
Yes. Was that the guy that had all his stuff in boxes and he had like a spreadsheet on?
Dennis is great, but I'm not saying he fibbed a little bit.
Yeah.
We're asking him what, beforehand, what do you have to show? Oh, I have a few figures displayed to show. And we're like, oh, okay. So you're not a no, I'm just collect and customize a little bit. And we're like, oh, okay, cool. So then he gets on the show, and then it's like, we did our talk, and it's like, time to show us your lair. And but right before
here it is in the baker boxes behind me.
We asked him how many figures he had, and he's like, oh, well, I got a couple hundred. We're like, well, how many are you away from the line? Well, like 20. We're like, dude, you're a completionist, because he said he wasn't. And I'm like, well, you're 20 away.
Yeah.
We're like, how many customs do you have? Oh, I don't know. I got like 200 and something. I'm like, holy shit, dude. He had all those banker boxes and they were all organized and he had them all in there divided. I mean, it was impressive, but it was one of those episodes definitely where you're like, wow, holy crap.
It was the craziest shit I ever seen in my life.
I know you were commenting and I'm like, whoa, Curtis here.
Yeah. Well, he had like a spreadsheet to where he knew not only what box it was in, but he knew what row in what box it was in. And it's like, I've never seen anything like that. I'm like, this is how serial killers collect toys. Like this.
It was funny because go ahead,
I get that until you put one in the wrong spot one time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I would never get it organized again. I would start over and come up with a new system.
Because where he was at, it was like in a she shed or something, wasn't it?
He didn't have much room. So he
had
was
some real fancy type shed.
Well, it was like you're like, okay, show us your collection, and he turns around and goes, okay, it's in these boxes right here. That was it.
Dude, but it was like he had a stack of boxes. Like, well, here, let me pull up these. And
he's definitely got more figures than I do, but it's just like
wow.
Yeah, it was crazy.
It was. I
was blown away. That one shocked me.
I think that was the episode where it did go for a while. People are probably saying that now. They're like, quit talking, Brad. But it was one of those episodes where, like, when I think we got off, Lauren's like, dude, I can't have a 3-hour episode. Like, that's just too much for me. And I'm like, I get it. I'm like, teach me the ways of StreamYard.
Yeah. All right. Well, Brad, it's been a blast having you on here.
Thank you.
We look forward to seeing you in a couple weeks. Anything else? Obviously, LegionsCon's right around the corner, but anything else that people can look forward to seeing? I know you said you got your 50th on November 7th.
Let's see. This Tuesday on the Cabal, we're going to have Jordan Frazier on the Legions Lair at 7:00. So if you want to come hang out with us, Jordan is a funny individual.
Team Purple.
we got to meet Jordan at PowerCon in person, so he's very witty, he's awesome, and we're looking forward to have him on the lair.
Cool. And then the 50th on November 7th, and then people can see you at your table at LegionsCon.
Mike will be here on the 7th. He'll go home and he's going to come back on the 8th in the morning, and we're going to head out to New Jersey on Wednesday. So
beautiful.
So we'll
Beautiful.
be there Wednesday at the hotel. So anybody there wants to hang out or do something, let us know.
All right, I'll be there Wednesday as well. I'll be getting in Wednesday afternoon. So
awesome. That same thing. Same here.
Beautiful.
Cool.
All right, man. Late Thursday night.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, we're gonna put you backstage, close out the show. If you have to go, that's fine. If not, hang out there, and we'll be right back with you.
Awesome.
All right, see you in a second. Another fun one. We are less than 3 weeks away, Jesse.
Yes, we are.
It's crazy.
Yep.
We got a special show coming up, don't we? This upcoming Saturday that we need to talk about.
Is that this coming Saturday?
It is this upcoming Saturday.
Yes, we do. I don't have a graphic for it yet. I apologize, man.
That's all right. We're the graphic.
Yeah, it's us.
It's us.
It's us. We're doing a LegionsCon special, going through what we're going to have at our tables on Saturday, October 27th,
28th. Next Saturday, the 28th.
28th. Yes, the 28th. What did we say? What time? 6 p.m.
6 p.m. Eastern.
So yeah, next Saturday, 6 p.m. Eastern. We'll be kind of highlighting stuff that we'll have at our tables. Curtis will have the things that he and his wife have been working on to show off. I'll have stuff I've been working on, and I'll have some photos from Brian C, CB Make, and Mark Rivera, Mark Star Media, who are going to be at my table to show off some of the stuff they're bringing and everything. So tune in to get a sneak peek of table 9 and 10.
Yeah, because we're going to be right next to each other, and we figured we'd at least give you guys an idea of kind of what things we're going to have, and idea of prices and all that kind of stuff, and go from there. So yeah, join us next Saturday for a little special episode, and then we have a show again Sunday, because we're every week. We're not like these part-timers like the Lair and the Lounge guys every other week.
Now, hey,
we're every week. We're here.
We don't rub it in. You can rub stuff in on OffWorld. We don't do that here. I want a quick shout out for Douglas Tupper. He is going to be setting up at the ZoloCon Halloween show next weekend.
Oh, nice.
Selling stuff. So anyone in the central Pennsylvania area or within traveling distance, go check that out. I think he posted something in the Cabal or on his page. So go check out Douglas selling a bunch of cool stuff up there next weekend.
I got a little bit of a bone to pick with Douglas, though.
Okay.
I saw that Douglas showed up on the Legions chat on Friday night instead of showing up for OffWorld. I saw him in the pictures. That's one of the things, Douglas. If you go hang out with Cullen instead of joining OffWorld, Cullen takes pictures and blasts it out for everybody. So we know you were there. We were on OffWorld talking about dwarf.
It's okay, Douglas. I'm just gonna put Curtis on mute and just let you know it's okay.
We see you.
Curtis might see you. I mean, I see you too, but you can be where you want to do.
Super chat from Trevor. Apparently, there's a Legions Lounge tomorrow night at 9. Trevor, let us know. Trevor, let us know who you got on. I know they've been doing a huge road to LegionsCon. They've been having 3 or 4 guests a week or something on there. So if you haven't been checking those out, do so, because there's a lot of great folks that are displaying at LegionsCon that have been on that show.
Totally.
So hopefully he throws that on there before we finish out here.
Yeah. So that's tomorrow night, 9 Eastern on the 1/6 Shooter channel.
Yep.
Check out Legions Lounge with Trevor and Bill.
And who do we have next Sunday?
Well, next Sunday, we have the distinct privilege of hosting
up-and-comer in the community.
This guy, some of you might have heard of him. I believe he goes by Jeremy.
Jeremy
Gerard.
Gotcha.
Will be joining us next Sunday, 8 o'clock Central or Eastern time, rather. Sorry, I'm getting all discombobulated here. 8 o'clock, our new start time, 8 o'clock next Sunday night with Jeremy Gerard. We will be talking all things LegionsCon, and who knows what else we'll be talking about next Sunday night as our Let's Go to LegionsCon parade of guests continues.
Sir Gerard the Changeling. Trevor just responded. Looks like we've got Big Head Studios, Mythic Bits, Mythic Heathens, and Khalid Udin. So there you go.
Awesome.
Got 4 more guests on tomorrow. I mean, they're just cramming them in. I know he said next year. They thought they started early enough this year, but they're still kind of running out of time. So he's talking about even starting earlier next year.
So many people, not too many. There's so many people. It's hard to. Maybe we should get the shows together and kind of coordinate and let everybody.
Well,
spread the wealth.
From what I hear, the lounge did that with Euro Legions. Like they kind of coordinated. But we don't have legions in our name, so we don't get involved in those discussions.
We've been talking to everyone we've talked to for the past several weeks, if not months, have been people going to LegionsCon. So we're doing our own thing.
Yeah, those Legions guys, they just don't think of us because we don't have legions in our name. So
that's okay. But they're here, and you know what, Trevor? I appreciate you.
Shooting
and
the
Nate's usually
legions.
Here, Bill comes on.
Legions
from time
the
to
Shelve.
time. So don't let Curtis's bitterness
shooting Legion shelves.
So
shooting
tomorrow night, 1-6 shooter, 9 Eastern. For some great guests, we got Legions Lair Tuesday night. Douglas is selling toys next Saturday. Curtis and I will be showing off our wares for LegionsCon, and then next Sunday night we got Jeremy Gerard. And I know Legions, Euro Legions have been doing their podcast every week, and all the other shows. Tons of great stuff to check out in the Cabal and elsewhere. So thank you everyone for joining us tonight. Thank you to our super chats tonight.
Trevor's got it copyrighted, shooting the legions.
That's fine. Just the shelf is mine.
All right. Well, hey folks, we appreciate all that joined us live, those that are watching on replay, and until next time.
Oh, what's on your shelf?